Okay, so during the last episode, you guys started out in the cave where, after finding all the treasure, you guys found a hidden passage and you found two phase spiders. After making fairly short work of the phase spiders, you left the cave, headed out, saw that one of the horses were missing, tracked the horse. Um, by finding the horse, you found a horse. You found the kobold that had gotten away. Um, an encounter ensued where you guys ended up killing that kobold and um, found a few items on him. From there, you went back to the city of Stone Harbor, where you met again Sailor Sal, who was extremely excited to see um, everybody and the fact that you guys had proven him right that there is lizard type people or things outside of the city. After that, quick fanfare of a bunch of people wanting to see the kobold. You guys headed back to the main town, where you went to turn the kobold over. Um, let me see here. So you go back, you turn the kobold over to General Glick, who there was a brief moment of trying to get more information out of him. Quickly dispatched you guys, sending you back out into the city. You guys kind of went your own ways, with the exception um, of Ray, who she met up with Sal at one of the local taverns to find out why he was heading away so quickly, only to find out that his ship was departing shortly and he needed to get back. But he did want to spend as much time as he could with the kobold. Um, so that's kind of where we're going to pick up tonight. Is Ray is in a tavern. Just finished talking with Sailor Sal, and it's kind of where we're starting tonight.
I need to run con.
Yeah, go ahead and run con.
You also need to run those horses back to the shop.
We already did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Initiate took the horses back as you guys started to break out. So Ray, as you're in the tavern, and Sal has decided to take out for the night and get some rest. You notice around the tavern that there is a very unique individual in the tavern, and that's where we will start up by introducing Bradford's character into our mix. So you see across the tavern Bradford's character, so I'll let you guys take that interaction how you will.
Roll for initiative. I'll approach him as the socially awkward elf that I am and get right in trouble and be like, "Hey, you look quite interesting. How are you?"
I'm quite fine. You look interesting as well.
I feel interesting. Meet my party. These guys are cool.
This is not what we're on. No.
I
Let's
found
go
my
meet your
best
party.
to be awkward.
Who am I looking at here? What does he look like?
Yeah, describe your character.
Cat.
He looks
He's
like a big kitten that can talk.
Wouldn't say.
Can I stroke your fur?
I don't know. Can I call your face?
Okay.
It's a tradition.
How are you outfitted? Like, if I were to make a guess, what would I guess your class is?
Some kind of tinkerer. Just wearing normal. Well, he's wearing scale armor. Has a shield. Has a long.
My name's Samarov, by the way. What's your name?
My name is Storm.
Thorn with a T?
Storm, as in the big rain from the sky, and thunder and lightning.
Oh, Storm. Oh, very
Very,
good.
very frightening.
I bet that makes your hair prickle.
Why are we talking about my hair? Where is this party of yours? You said we were going to meet somebody.
Oh, they're behind me, I hope. Somewhere. Socially awkwardly.
This is that awkward one where you turn around and they're not there.
That's exactly right.
Alright, so there's a half orc wearing heavy armor. He's going to be kind of silent tonight, but he's usually pretty boisterous and likes to get in the middle of things. Because I'm running his character. His name's Khan. Then there's a kind of a guy in dark clothes with a hood and a mask. He goes by Initiate, and he's also that's my character, and he's pretty silent as well for the most part.
And then there's me, who's preparing to entertain this fine crowd. And let's see if I can. Oh, where's my guy? Here we go.
And his name is Bob. Last time.
Yeah, my name is Yosef. And let's see if.
Or Joseph.
You're a big blurry mass that goes in and out of Zoom.
Yeah, let me see if I can illuminate what my guy looks like here.
Khan will ask for your drum set again.
Does that make him visible?
No, it actually. Turn off the light and leave it over.
Anyway.
He's very bright.
Yeah, so I'm a human, tall, kind of adventurous looking, and I'm always smoking it's like a cigarette with this long extension on it. And so
Corella DeVille.
that's as you'll see, that's kind of my shtick. How I do my bardiness is I play
And
the
he likes
mandolin and
puppies.
tell stories, and I make the smoke illuminate the stories.
So
What are you doing in this fine tavern?
I was about to get a drink.
Ah, yes, you were going to buy us all drinks. That is very, very gracious of you.
That would be very gracious, yes. It is not happening, but it would be.
Oh, well, then I shall drink with you. Let us drink.
I don't think I can afford to buy anybody a drink. I don't think I can afford to buy me a drink. How much are
Well,
drinks?
let me buy you a drink. We are quite wealthy adventurers and make a lot of copper on our adventures.
A lot of copper. A lot of copper.
Lots of copper.
So drinks in general don't cost an extreme amount unless you're ordering something special, probably 2 to 3 copper a piece, if that. You could probably get a mill for 1 silver along with as much drink as you needed.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. Is that your character?
Yep, that's Dirk.
What? I didn't see it.
It's in the chat.
Someone just put up a.
How do I go to chat?
So let us eat, let us dine, let us.
A little
let us
open
enjoy the night.
conversation. Bottom right.
So as you guys begin to make the acquaintance of Storm and start to eat and dine, an individual comes over to your table and asks if you are the adventurer that brought the kobold back.
Maybe.
Depends on who's asking. Depends on who's accent.
Well, if you guys are the adventurers who brought the kobold back, I have another adventure that I would like to see if you'd be willing to help me out in.
I would like to see if the price is right.
Well, I am just the messenger, and I don't particularly know what they would be willing to pay. However, I know that um, the Church of Avacon has sent me to find adventurers to help them find one of their lost members.
The Adventures of who?
Say it again?
Turtle.
Who were they?
They're from the Church of Avacon, Avacyn.
I'm gonna look at her fine new friend Storm and say, hey, what do you think we should do?
Yeah, you interested in getting in on some of this?
More on the lines of,
Yeah.
hey, what do you want to do?
My screen froze for a second. I missed something, but yes, I'm in.
Outstanding. We have another one. All right.
On is always interested in the possibility of smiting something.
Yeah.
So this person comes up to your table, tells you this, and as you affirm that you'd be interested into looking into this adventure, he tells you that he's been tasked with finding a group of adventurers that the Church of Avacon can hire in order to make contact with a member of their church who's went missing. Her name is Katrina Braun, and she's a very talented musician, and she's living in Shadow Grange. The church hasn't heard from her in several months, and the church is looking to find a group that will find her and an artifact that she has been taking care of.
Do they want her dead or alive, or is she supposed to be alive when they find
She, as far as we know, is alive. She's just missing.
I'll look at Yosef and say, Yosef, do you know of this Katrina, since you are both musician types, and you all huddle together quite often?
So I would imagine no, but do I?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Maybe you've smoked the pipe together.
Street plus 3. I definitely have not heard of her.
So, with that being said, no, he doesn't. Khan and Ray, go ahead and make history checks.
On roll a 6.
Khan's never heard of her.
That's a 20, like a 20-sided dice, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got a 13.
Okay. You don't know specifically of her. However, you have heard of the church in tales that you've been told, but not specifically of her.
I'm going to ask the group, does anybody know of this Shadow, what is it called, Shadow Grove?
Shadow Grange.
Shadow Grange. Sounds ominous.
I don't know.
Where she was last seen.
Did we figure out how much that they're gonna give us? Maintenance tax?
So the person you're talking with does not have a figure to give you.
Well, let's go meet up with the person. Maybe that person has the information we're looking for.
Okay. So this individual tells you that Shadow Range is quite a distance from where you guys currently are. He has enough gold and silver to give you to compensate you for your travel there. And he can give you a little bit of background on Shadow Grange and the province where Shadow Grange is at. Of course, if
Please
you
do.
want it.
Is he
So,
going to give us any more information about Katrina Braun?
so if you ask,
Okay. So, do we know this person's name?
he's not telling you his name.
So, Messenger,
Yes.
can you give us more information about this Katrina? And is she you say she's missing, but is she missing or did she flee from your church?
So she didn't leave from the church. She just hasn't been in the city or come to the church in several months. We fear that something may have happened to her and her fiance. The person that would know a lot more, and the person who you guys will meet up with to give you more details of what's going on is Micus, Mikaeus, and he can tell you about some things that he believes has happened to her. However, he has not given me that specific information.
And where's Micus?
He is in the province of Stenzia, which Shadow Grange is in, and he is in the city of Shadow Grange as well.
Who do we expect payment from?
The church will
The
pay
name of the
you.
province?
The province is Stenzia. Stensia.
Wait, spell that. Can we tell if this guy looks like he's telling us a fib?
You can
Or
make
looks like he's.
an insight check.
Ooh. Who wants to help me insight?
I will.
I'll help you.
All right. I'll let you help. Here we go. Inside.
So I ate him.
Okay.
I got a total of a 9 plus my insight bonus is nothing. That's off. I got a 9.
A 9. And what did you get, Storm?
16.
Okay. So as
I got a
you
23.
what's that?
Yeah.
So as you guys are looking at him talk to you, he looks like he is very worn down from long travel. He doesn't appear to be showing any type of deceit. You can see a small silver-like religious symbol around his neck. And that same religious symbol appears much smaller on a ring that he has on his pinky. Other than that, he seems to be trustworthy.
Nice. I say, sure, I'm not doing anything else. Shall we leave the corner?
Let's do
I'm
it.
ready to go.
To victory.
And glory.
Glory awaits.
Keep pounding.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So let's see here. Pull this up really quick and give Andrea an insight to what she knows about the city that you're going to. Maybe, who knows? Here we go. It's pulling up now. It was pulling up. I had all this stuff. Here we go. All right,
Hearing a
so.
lot of silence out where my kids are at, so let me go check on them.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
That's the most dangerous thing in the world. Where's my flashing out flashlight in my face here?
All right, so to give you an idea of this, so Ray, you have just a theoretical / like fabled stories of Stensia. You're aware that vampires control the province of Stensia. Stensia covers the darkest and most mountainous parts of the plains. There's evergreen forest here that seem to always be half dead, and the roads are mostly misty and deserted. The jagged hills isolate villages that are occupied mostly of humans, and there are vampire manors higher up in the mountains. At the province edges, the forlorn pines give way to high cliffs above which no human dares to venture. And in Stensia, the sun never seems to break through the clouds. And that's kind of your general idea of what you know about Stensia and Shadow Grange.
Sounds like Transylvania.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Sounds like fun.
Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
My silver dagger in my other hand.
So as, I don't know if you wanted to share that with the whole group or if you were going to keep that from them, but that's for your information to tell.
You keep the things from us.
Is the messenger still there? He's still with us?
He is there. You could get the sense that he wants to leave fairly quickly.
Okay. So before we leave,
Okay.
I think we should go. I think we should go because adventure, but we should at least be aware that it's controlled by vampires and it's kind of a gloomy place. So there's a bit more, but we should at least know those things before we go on.
Okay. So as you tell the group what you know about Stensia, you see the person put down a small bag, has some coin in it for your travels, and you see him basically start to back out of the tavern.
Hey, will you not be traveling with us?
As he reaches, comes towards you and says, "No, I won't be traveling with you directly." Gives you a map of how to get from where you currently are to the province of Stensia.
What time of day is it?
Now, it's still evening, so you're still in this end of the same day of returning the kobold.
So, Connell used his divine sense
Okay.
to see if this guy's a celestial fiend or undead,
Okay.
or if there's any of those within 60 feet.
Is
So-
it fiend or friend?
So he is none of he is not any of that. He is person, very church-going human. And you get no undead or anything like that around you within the 60 feet.
Well then, shall we sleep and leave in the morning? What say ye?
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Yeah, it's good to me.
I gotta finish
I'll
this.
look at Storm and say, do you want to share a room? Not that way.
I mean,
Save
that
money.
kind of work. I have a room, thanks.
Okay. So you guys find rooms or go to your various housing within the city and decide that you guys are going to meet back as discussed previously by Derek back in front of the general's office in the morning to begin your journey.
Initiate, are you able to get horses again?
I can certainly try. I'll make those or try to make those arrangements when I go back to the monastery for the night and my evening meal.
Okay. So as before you go back there and you're going to make those arrangements, you're able to look at the map and you discern that it is quite a distance. And the person who gave you the map and money has given you enough in order to get rations to get you all the way to there. About 20 rations per person is what he's provided you.
Cool.
Is it any method of teleportation anybody knows of? I'll
Does
just
it?
ask the question.
We're gonna use our several legs.
There's
All
a
my teleportation I have is walking.
there's this
LPCs.
okay. So as you you guys rest, you meet back up with the rest of the party in front of the general's office out in the common area. Initiate has no problem acquiring horses for the entire party, all 7 members, and you guys take a look at the map. You realize that it's about 3 weeks in order to get to the location that you're going to go to by foot. You probably save a day or two going on horseback. And from that point, it looks like, for the most part, as opposed to heading towards the direction of Stone Harbor, you guys are going to be heading in the exact opposite direction, so more easterly than southerly. As you guys travel, that travel is going to take you through mostly plains areas until you get to the edge of the province. As you guys near the edge of the province over these several weeks, towards the end of the last couple of days, you're able to see the mountainous region and how it very much looks very bleak, and it's very ominous looking, so to speak. There is one pathway that you guys can get there. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but I'll put it up on the regular one. But you guys will be coming in from the northern part of the province, and that will take you into a pass that you will have to lead through. Probably from the time that you get to the pass to the time it takes you to get to Shadow Grange is probably about 5 days.
If you're showing us video, you don't have your camera.
I don't have my
Yeah, I
camera on.
can't send it either.
Oh, okay. All right, let me know if you can see this.
I can see it now.
Can you see
And
that?
then, just so you know, every time we do a short rest, I spend 10 minutes telling a story of how of the glory that awaits those who do daring and courageous things, and it gives you +6 temporary hit points. So it's the inspiring leadership trait feat, I should say.
Okay.
So you have 6 temporary hit points, pretty much at all times, unless something happens or you lose them due to getting hit.
Okay. So, as you guys
Bless you.
approach the province, and you've climbed up the edge of the pass, and you begin to walk more into Stenzia, and you're able to look around, see how everything is really laid out. So for the most part, your journey to Stenzia on your way to Shadow Range has been relatively safe and very uneventful, other than the stories that you get from your bard. The road drifted across rolling hills and heaths that made up a landscape in the province prior to getting to Stenzia. You're taking mostly paths through small villages and quiet farmlands where occasionally you were able to find places to stay and have drink. As
we progress, every stop will ask about if anybody's seen this person, so we don't accidentally pass by some place they may have been.
Okay. So up until this point, you were not able to come across anybody that knew of Katrina. But as of right now, you're entering the province, and you can tell that it's very much as described by the person who brought you the pass. So the mountain range, it's an imposing mountain range that cuts Stenzia off from neighboring provinces. The trail through it is called Curran's Pass. It was a long, jagged path that cut up and over the mountainside until finally you entered Stenzia. As you trek through Stenzia's inner valley, passing through small settlements inside Stenzia, you end up crossing a threshold through the valley to where you can see some of the more lifted mountains with the castles that you were told about. As you guys continue to journey through Stenzia, the Outland Valley winding stone paths dotted by grim pine trees and flanked by the far-flung mountain ranges, bony peaks reaching to the sky. Sprouting from one such mountain is a castle with many spires, its imposing structure casting a long shadow down from the stony peaks. A hazy fog looms over the valleys, lightly obscuring objects in the distance. The sky is awash with the orangish reddish and dark purplish clouds covering the setting sun. That kind of leads you into the province that you're in now. It is late in the evening. You're able to find places to make camp or do what you like. But what would you like to do right now?
How far are we from the nearest town?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask.
So as of right now, you're you've coming into this specific area, you're probably 2 days travel from the nearest town, and you're probably still about 5 days away from Stone Grange. Or Shadow Grange, sorry.
Anywhere good to camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find
don't
a
know, Ranger.
sensible looking place with lots of overlook and set up a camp.
Okay. So as you guys are easily able to find a spot to set up camp. You guys can set up your watches how you would like, and this is kind of where we're gonna start our adventure here. That was just my cheesy way of getting you guys here.
Somebody's good, Matthew.
I don't know who.
I'll
has that.
volunteer for second and third watch. If there's 4 watches.
Okay.
As usual, I will have my unseen servant make my hammock and then not volunteer for watch at all.
Okay. So who do we have taking the first watch?
Savarov.
Okay. Anybody
Anyone
else?
would like to join me? I'm a little socially awkward, but hey, I don't bite too hard.
No, I'll join you.
Okay.
Right.
So
Ron and I will take the next watch.
all right. So as you guys rest, Savarith and Storm, go ahead and make perception checks.
I'm good at these. 4, 7.
Okay.
18.
18. All right. So pull it up here. So in the distance, you hear what you would normally hear in a foresty mountain area, sounds of various animals. Storm, however, also hears what he thinks is either some type of small creature actually talking and laughing or snickering, or some type of cackling sound echoing off of the mountain range. It does sound like it's quite a ways away, a significant distance.
Do you hear that? Listen,
I'll try to
sounds like
listen into
somebody's
whichever
laughing.
direction he's pointing.
So he listens for a little bit, starts to pick up a faint sound of what could have been some snickering, but it quickly fades away.
Kind of look at you and be like, should I go after it? Stealthily.
That sounds too far away.
I say we wake up Yosef just to make sure he knows what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah, we can wait and tell him when he wakes up for his shift.
Oh, okay. Well, he doesn't have a shift, so. But okay, we can wait.
So as you guys hear, or you guys go through that, you hear that same sound, except you can hear it saying something, and you hear it say, "Yeah, that's right. You don't want to wake it up. You don't want to wake it up." And then the sound goes away.
Well, that was odd.
Hold
Yeah,
me.
see, this guy knows. You don't wake me up, man.
Do we know which direction that came from, or was it like just in our heads?
It sounds like it's bouncing off the mountain. You can't get a really good idea of where it's coming from.
I think I'm gonna go walk over to Initiate. Well, I'm gonna look at our good friend Storm and say, hey, can't that Initiate guy know like if there's weird things about, like always trying to find weird stuff?
I don't know. I've never met him before. Remember?
I do remember. That's true.
Yes.
He has this ability. He sees dead people.
I see lots of dead people.
You want con, not initiate.
Oh, God.
Just look at you funny.
Apparently you don't
wait. I mean, let's try to talk to this thing. We'll be like, hey, what's your name? Weird noise from the mountains.
Do you wake con up?
No, not yet.
So you say out, asking what its name was, and you hear back, the idiot journeyers start talking to themselves, and then the sound disperses.
Storm, I talk to myself all the time. How about you?
I'm sorry, I was talking to myself. What would you say?
Oh, that's what I thought. This guy's a little kooky.
Yes, when do you not talk to yourself? That's weird.
Are you talking to me or talking to yourself?
What?
Huh?
You hear you hear laughing and cackling in the distance. As quickly as you hear it, it goes away.
Some disperses.
You must be the worst
Well,
watch ever.
We're doing great. Well, I guess we'll just keep doing great.
So as you guys continue your watch, the sounds completely stop, and you don't hear them again until the end, or not even at the end of your watch.
Huh. Well, Cat Guy Storm, I guess it's time for you to go to bed.
Yes, that wasn't creepy at all.
Not at all. Who's up next on watch? Was it Yosef? I think Yosef was to be woken up next for watch. Was he not?
Con and initiate work.
Okay.
Con and Initiate. Okay, I guess we'll wake up Con and Initiate, and then I'll do my meditation while they take their shift. Good night, Catman Storm.
Good night.
All right. So
Con and Initiate.
Con and Initiate, you begin your watch. Oh,
Ooh, that's creepy.
that was not
sounds
me.
ominous.
That wasn't me at all.
Oh,
So what?
those stories.
Probably the traffic outside my apartment. I'm
Oh.
on the 7th floor or something. Weird.
What do Con and Initiate want to do?
We just quietly take up watch.
Okay.
I'll hang out, more out of the light of the fire.
Okay. So as you guys are taking up watch, go ahead and
But before they do, I tell them everything that happened.
okay.
The weird laughter. Us talking to ourselves.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a perception.
A con was a 16 and initiate was a 24.
So Initiate, as the other two settle into their slumber, Initiate hears, "Look at that! Look at that! It's so ugly. I bet it smells bad too."
How far away does it sound to be?
A distance. It's clear enough to where you can hear, but it's well away from you. It seems to echo through the hills.
I'll mention it to Con, and I think it sounds weird. But we'll just keep viewing our watch.
Okay.
Gets
So-
any closer, I'm sure Con will want to go after it.
Okay. So as what are Khan's feats?
His features.
Yeah.
What input are you exactly looking for?
Because he was doing something where he could detect specific.
Oh, yeah. So he'll use a he'll cast his divine sense.
Okay. And what does that look for again? I forget.
Celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet.
Celestial, fiends, or undead. Okay. So he gets a general feeling that overwhelms this ability of his, and that he knows that there's a lot of undead all around him. He gets the sense that it permeates the area in a range that's far greater than just his 60 feet. Is how powerful the sense of undead is in this area.
Does he pick out any individual things within that 60 feet?
No specific individuals. Just
At that point, he's going to wake everybody up.
okay.
Tell everybody what's going on.
So
He's going to start with Joseph. He'll kick him out of his hammock.
so as he goes over to Joseph or Yosef and pushes him out of the hammock, everybody in the party starts hearing a rumble of laughter from a distance, and hears the words, "Ah, the lazy one fell out of his hammock," and then more laughter, and it goes out of sound.
Eat the lazy one first.
Something's definitely watching us.
And of course, Empire Country.
Mention the undead presence.
So it's fairly clear to Khan. Ray, go ahead and make a perception check as well, now that you're awake.
Okay, I have a question.
Yep.
So I roll that and then I add something to it, right?
Yes, your perception modifier.
13.
Okay. So you and Khan both, because of your training, you get the same feeling as he does. Is there is a lot of undead and evil that permeate the entire area. You can't localize it to any specific being or entity, but it is everywhere here.
Is there any directionality that's more specific? Like, is it full 360 or does one direction feel?
At this point, to them it feels like it permeates all around, so much so that it obscures their ability to localize it individually.
Well, this is creepy.
Yeah.
How far can we see? I mean, night vision. Do we see anything? Nothing phasing in and out. Nothing crazy out there.
Other than the occasional just animal that's going through there. You see nothing that would pose a threat to you. You see movement as you would at night, based either on the wind or the movement of some of those animals. But other than that, you don't see anything that you would bring concern to you.
We just start trying to track down that voice.
Sure can. How would you like to go
But
about it?
just spread out.
That's a great idea.
Okay. So
I will spread out to accompany one of the paladins.
okay.
Okay.
Can we have a general idea which way it's coming from?
It would, in general, it bounces off the mountains and you can kind of hear it overall, but you get the general concept that it's probably further down the path of which you're going to travel in the morning.
Well, shall we continue down the path tonight, gentlemen and ladies?
No, you do remember they said this is vampire country, right?
Okay, let's saddle up and continue mission unless anybody would like to stay here and sleep for the night.
What time is it in the morning?
At this point, it's probably the equivalent of midnight or 1 in the morning.
Well, I mean, we haven't used spells, but we certainly haven't had a long rest. Are we just going to try to quick foot it all the rest of the way to the village?
I thought we were traveling for days. So.
Yeah, you have about
Okay, so
2 days to the next smaller town, and then it's about 4 to 5 days from where you're at right now to
But
the city that you're
what
going.
what I mean is that if we're just going to start moving out right now, like that just means we're basically going until we reach the next place.
I say we sleep during the day.
It's evil all around.
Yeah, sleep during the day.
During the day, and then move out at night, so we're all awake. And
Okay.
in other countries, they don't like the sunlight, so
I like that.
Sunny here, but that would be my recommendation. That hey, let's continue now, and then when daylight breaks, we'll take a break and everyone can rest.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting tactic.
So as you
better in the
guys,
dark anyway.
I will ask that we spend 10 minutes and hear a tale of grandeur.
okay,
I like me some 6 hit points.
go ahead and give an idea of what that tale's about.
So the tale is about. Are we 6 or are we 7 people now?
You are 7 people right now.
Oh, somebody doesn't get it then. I'm only able to do it for 6 people. So,
I'm going to just scoot as close as possible.
what's that? Yeah. So yeah, it's probably just going to be one of the paladins. I'll just go with shoot, not Crom.
You can leave me off.
On.
Khan, yes, thank you. I'll just leave Khan off because I imagine he's probably got a pretty good constitution and he's got self-healing if he needs it. So I'd rather not have one of the paladins. So this tale is about 7 very brave adventurers who set out against the odds to defeat the forces of evil and in the end bring glory to the king.
So it's a story of 6 adventurers and their pet kitty cat that walk through the night who are afraid to sleep. That echoes through the mountaintop.
What was this pet kitty cat everybody keeps talking about?
It's you.
And it's set in like 500 years ago in a country far away, and like most of the details are changed, but it clearly is us.
Okay.
And yeah, that's the story.
So the one who tells the stories makes up fairy tales to tell his 5 compadres and their little kitty's tale. And you hear
Is that
that
what the
echo.
voice is saying?
Oh yeah, that's what the voices are saying. They're basically mocking exactly what you do. So you tell a story of grandeur, and they tell a story of pure mocking exactly what you do.
Let's say, do you mind? This is a fantastic tale I'm telling.
Here's the story of a lovely meal.
So I'll just I'll tell them to ignore the voice. Like, no, really, like you guys are going to be fantastic. We really do got this. And try to inspire them despite the mockery.
So go ahead.
But I feel very motivated.
Everyone's able to receive their bonuses from the bard, but also a sense of just annoyance comes over everyone from the voice. So you guys, it's about 1 a.m. You start traveling the trail that you're used to. Occasionally hearing the mocking come through, mostly mocking you about either how you can't see at night, or, oh look, you're almost stumbled over a branch, watch out for the tree in front of your face. As dawn begins to appear, and you see the purplish glow of dawn here, shrouded in the majority of fog, the voices don't go away. And as long as you're awake, they randomly sound out, and you get to hear them as things go through.
So even in the day then.
So as dawn approaches, you're in a decent area to where you would be able to find a place to rest if you like, or you can continue to go a little further into the day. It's completely up to what you would like to do. It's about 6 in the morning.
I will stop and say, recommend we sleep. There's been no actual danger to us aside from mocking laughter, and we'll double the watch and let everybody get a good night's rest or day's rest if anybody disagrees.
That sounds good.
I'm when you say double the watch, I kind of get this concerned look, and I mean, could you explain that further? There's
No,
7
Adam
of them,
was
surely.
right.
Surely we
You're
have
volunteering
sufficient
for
to
your own
maintain
watch.
our watch schedule.
Okay. So who is gonna take the first watch?
I will.
Okay. Everyone else, go ahead and just make a general
Sleep check.
charisma check.
Everybody?
Everybody, except for Con and Initiate.
21.
2.
Who rolled the 2?
Me,
Okay.
Navarro.
All right.
18.
Wow. 4.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Double my roll.
So everyone but Ray and Savaroth are able to fall asleep quickly. Takes Ray probably another hour or so to actually fall asleep, and Savaroth takes probably another 2 hours to fall asleep.
That's okay. I'm gonna. Damn you!
All right, Initiate and Con, go ahead and make your perception checks.
Ooh, not good. Con got an 8, and Initiate got an 8.
Okay. So other than the voices that you hear occasionally, you don't see anything and you don't hear anything throughout your watch. As it's nears the end of your watch, you're able to go over and wake up whoever replaces you. So at this point, it's probably close to almost noon, just before noon.
Okay.
Who has the next watch?
I can take the next watch.
Okay.
Joseph's job should be the one to wake up the next watch every time. He doesn't have to do the watch. He just gets to be woken up to wake up the next shift.
That's awesome.
All right. So as Initiate goes over and wakes up Joseph and says, "You need to wake up Durek so he can stand the next watch."
I will send the unseen servant over to wake him up and go right back to sleep.
All right. The unseen servant wakes up Durek and disappears because he is unseen.
I didn't.
You just feel something like shaking you awake, and when you wake up, there's nothing there.
I look around, wondering what's going on.
So
Pretty good.
go ahead and make an intelligence check, Durek.
I'll just yell at him from my bedroll, say, "It's your watch!"
Okay. You don't have to make the intelligence check because you hear him yell at you to it's your turn for watch.
So does that wake all of us up?
Dirk looks up really grumpily.
Okay. All right. So Initiate and Con, go ahead and make your charisma check. And then
Okay.
Durek, go ahead and make your perception check.
General charisma or a save?
Just general charisma check.
Okay. Initiate is a 8.
Okay.
And Con
Your cat looks exactly like mine.
is a 5.
Okay. Con takes a little bit longer to fall asleep, however, not very long. Probably about 45 minutes. You're able to fall asleep right as you
Okay.
want to.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah, keep Rona out of this. She's not invited to this.
Alright, I got a 16.
16. Okay. So as everyone falls asleep, you notice from a distance in the opening, you can see a small shadow nymph flying around, and as you see it flying around, you're able to discern that that's where the mocking voices are coming from.
So I saw a shadow.
Yeah.
Can I?
A shadow nymph.
Yeah.
Shadow nymph.
Yeah.
I know it's a shadow nymph.
Make a wisdom check.
Yes. 13.
You know it's you get the idea that it's a nymph, and you can tell it's different because it's more wispy and looks like to have no specific solid form. Other than that, you can track and see it as it moves through. You notice it fly fairly quickly. It stays a solid distance away from you, probably
Can I-
never comes within about 100 feet of you.
Can I tell if it's like scared of the light, or something?
Go ahead and. Yeah. How are you going to test that it's scared of the light?
I guess I'll take a.
It's noon.
Oh, it's noon, but it's like overcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always dark.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's not bright.
I thought that it was like dark in this region.
It's darker because of the fog and the clouds that are always present. It always has this purplish haze, but it would be the equivalent of about what it is outside right now in Kansas, or an hour ago in Eastern time.
Should I, or not should I, but can I tell if it seems like it's going to attack or bother us?
You get the idea that it wants to keep a distance from you. You don't ever see it come closer than that distance that it was at than when you initially saw it, which is about 100 feet away.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep my eye on everything and a little bit more stringently,
Okay.
and then I'll continue on let people sleep.
Okay. So as go ahead.
Didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was children.
Oh, yeah. So it stays away from you. Occasionally mocks down at you and talks some various crap about how rusted and useless your hammer is, and there's no need for you to have a shield because you can barely lift it up. Other than that, never really comes close to you.
Derek's just slightly amused.
Okay.
Like a group, or if we're done, we'll continue on.
Okay. So after your watch-ins, are you guys going to continue to rest? At this point, it's probably the equivalent of 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon / beginning of the evening.
I forgot to say I relate everything that happened to everybody.
Okay.
That I think it's a nymph. And that it's staying its distance.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
So I'm gonna play this nymph a tune. Let's see if it likes music.
Okay. What kind of song would you say it would be? Upbeat?
So I'll play I'm playing a dulcimer, and I'll just start it out just instrumental only, just kind of a pleasant, mellow song, just kind of, somewhat fast and a rolling, a medium speed rolling, pleasant song.
Okay. So as you begin to play, you hear them start to jabber about, look at the bard, the ugliest bard we've seen, the one who can't play by any means. Basically, their mocking starts to go in the same rhythm as you play. As you speed up, their insults come quickly. As you slow down, they tend to slow down their insults. But pretty much follow your lead there.
Sean thinks it's time to
I'm
go
going
hunt
to
this
try
thing
to
down.
exactly where they are. Am I able to get like a general sense of where they are, and can I use vicious mockery on them?
So at this point, you can see that there's 3 of them. They keep their distance. I mean, there's enough light for you to be able to locate. You can see all three of them. You can certainly try vicious mockery.
All right, they need to make a charisma save at 15.
15.
14. It's proficiency plus so it's gonna be a 14.
Okay, and then what's the range?
There it goes. 60 feet.
60 feet.
Yeah.
So go ahead and what's the insult that you're gonna lay down with vicious mockery?
Oh, and it is a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
I'll talk about 3 nymphs who were so unoriginal that they couldn't come up with anything other than what other people talk about. That's not very good. I'll try. Yeah, I'll try just something basic, and I'll come up with a better zinger for round 2.
Okay.
Mom.
So as you
That's the best.
hurl out this insult, you hear back laughter, and just doesn't seem to really have an effect on them.
How fast do they seem to be moving? Are they
They
flying or are they kind of low to the ground?
they're flying. They're probably 20 to 30 feet into the air. They tend to fly towards and away, up and down. They for the most part keep their distance from you. You guys don't have a problem with them coming close to you.
What type of terrain are we in?
Right now, lightly wooded. There's a fairly large open path, and then both to your right and left, there's the
I'm gonna try to
mountainous area.
stealthily fade into without telling anybody, just kind of fade off and try to start stealthily moving, seeing if they can't maybe not notice me. Well, I guess we're all on horseback, aren't we? Or are we still sleeping?
Well, you guys are just waking. Everyone is just at this point waking up.
I'm gonna nudge my new cat friend, be like, hey, I'm gonna go try to sneak up on these guys. I'll be back. And then try to fade away into the brush.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage.
You want some company?
With advantage. I'm just gonna try to do it myself. 22.
Okay. As you hear Yosef begin to banter with the creatures, you're able to slip unseen by the creatures into the trees. They don't notice that you're gone as they're bantering with Yosef.
I'm gonna try to vicious. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll try to vicious mock them again, and I'm going to say how stupid it is that they have wings when they don't even need wings to fly because they're shadows. Like, why don't you just get rid of those stupid wings?
And I'll start moving toward them.
Okay. So as you talk about their wings, you hear them turn around and say, "Why do you have legs if you don't even know where you're going? I'm sure you're heading to Shadow Grange, but you seem to be heading in the wrong way."
Now, do they? So, when I cast that spell a second time, like, do I feel any bite of my? Like, is it just not working? Period, or do I feel like they're resisting it?
You get the sense that has extremely little effect on them. The fact that they trade insult for insult with you gives you the feeling that, other than an annoyance you are to them, the same annoyance they are to you.
Okay. I'm gonna hit him with Bane.
Okay.
So I'll actually cast Bane. So get within 30 feet, cast Bane, and then they each have a Charisma 14 to try to resist it.
At this point, Khan will also be staying close to Yosef.
13?
And calling it.
14.
14?
Yeah.
And what's the range on that?
30 feet.
Okay. So as you try to move up to where you're able to cast Bane, you notice that they move away from you to stay outside of that specific range. They tend to stay about 90 to 100 feet from you. So as you cast Bane, it has really no effect on them. You get
I
the
wouldn't cast it unless I was close.
okay. You get the idea that you can't get in range with them for Bane to be effective.
Well, then the next insults they start saying, I'm just gonna act like I can't hear them.
Okay.
Like I'll kind of give like a inquisitive look, like, wait, what was that? Did I just hear something?
Okay. So as they continue to insult and you move back and forth with them and continue your insults,
No, like I'm just basically ignoring them. But whenever they say something, I'll like perk my ear, like I'm trying to listen to the wind.
right.
Can I make a deception to see if I can successfully deceive them on this?
Yes. 1 second though. Savarith.
Say again?
1 second though. Savarith, go ahead and make
Okay.
another stealth check.
Advantage or no?
At this point, yes, at advantage.
Without an advantage. 20 natural. Booyah!
Okay. So you're able.
Nice.
You're able, while all of this is going on, to get within 30 feet of them without them knowing that you're there.
Ooh, nice. I'm close. Too bad I'm not a rogue.
All right, go ahead and make your deception check.
That's a 17.
17. Okay. So as you lay down your
That's funny.
as you lay down your last insult, they start to mock you back, and then it appears to them that you didn't hear what they said, so you hear them say it again.
How loud is it?
For pretty much everybody, with the exception of Savarith, I mean, it would be of what you would consider just normal talk, but they're obviously at a distance. So they're speaking fairly loudly from a distance, but the volume that you get is probably as if you were talking normally inside your group.
Yeah, I'll just like as when they say it again, I'll just kind of perk my ear and shrug, like I can't hear it.
Okay.
It's time, gentlemen. I think it's time. I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike as my bonus action
Okay.
and try to shoot one of them with an arrow and see what happens.
Ensnaring Strike.
Ensnaring Strike, it's a bonus action. Next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, a writhing mass of thorny vines appears at the point of impact. The target must succeed on a strength save or be restrained by the magical vines until the spell ends.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Big money, no whammies. 17. Oh.
Okay. 17 hits.
Bam!
You hit one of
Take
the
it down to the knee, baby.
Blow a hole right through it.
Probably. Well, the Ensnaring Strike is interesting too. So they have to make a strength saving or get wrapped up in the vines and take 1d6 damage.
Okay.
And I do. So damage wise, we have 8 damage. It hits.
All right. So the strength they. Let me see this really quick. So as your arrow hits the one, it takes the damage, but as the vines begin to grasp, it's able to move through the vines, and as that happens, all 3 of them immediately start flying away from you.
I lost the last part you just said.
I hear a whole bunch of feedback.
Just mute themselves.
Oh, there it goes. It went away.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, I missed the point where you said as I shot them.
Okay, so you hit them with the arrow. The one, you see it takes the damage and it scrolls, but as the vines begin to wrap around it, it's able to move through the vines and escape them, and all 3 of them dart off directly away from the group.
Well, it's time to pursue. Let's go!
Okay.
I'll take off running with Severoth.
Okay. Let's who else is gonna chase with them? Okay.
No,
All right.
I'm assuming I'm not wearing my armor though.
Go ahead and oh, let's see here. I got to pull out the chase portion of this.
Well, I did tell you, Storm, that I was sneaking up on them, so you probably would have.
Doesn't it take like 10 minutes to put armor on?
Depends on the type.
242.
Medium.
Equipment.
All right, so you can.
Getting out of armor. Dawn.
A chase participant can freely use the dash action up to a number of times equal to 3 plus his Constitution modifier. Each additional dash action it takes during the chase requires a creature to succeed on a DC 10 Constitution save at the end of each turn. Okay, so you guys all take off. The chase begins. So I have Yosef, Initiate, Storm. Who else?
On to.
Khan.
Am I awake 5 minutes in there where all this was going on?
Is everybody chasing after them?
I can try.
Okay.
I'm going to get on my horse and then ride after where everybody's pacing.
Okay.
Ooh, smart man.
So movement on the horse. What's everybody's movement?
I think it's either 50 or 60.
Okay.
I'll check.
I think it's 50.
I think it's 50 as well.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
All right.
Riding horse?
All right.
Yeah.
So as you guys begin to take off,
60.
60. Okay.
It's 60. Okay.
So Yosef climbs on the horse. Everyone else starts running after him, and Savarith, being closest, takes off after him as well. You're able to get. Everyone's able to, for the most part, maintain the distance that they're currently at away from them, with the exception of Yosef, who gains about 10 feet, and Severith, who closes the distance by 10 feet as well. So now, or I'm sorry, Severith is about 20 feet from the one that he hit, and about 40 feet from the other 2, and Yosef at this point is within 40 feet of him. Everyone else is at least 50 feet behind them at this point.
All right, when I get the chance, I'll pull out a hand crossbow and start shooting at him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take my second shot too whenever I'm able.
All right. So I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
22.
All right.
19.
Yosef,
10.
Yosef, you're making the
Just the
Constitution. You're making the Constitution saving throw for the horse.
Oh, 13.
Okay. Anybody have less than a 10?
12.
Did anybody have less than a 10?
No.
Okay. All right. You guys are all within the distances that I described. Yosef and Savarath are within a fairly short range. Savarath, you go ahead and go first.
And my spell is still active for a minute, so I don't have to keep it running for a minute, right? Just
Yep. Just make your attack.
16.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And you plus my damage. 11.
11 points of damage.
10. 10, sorry. I can't do math. 10.
Okay. So as you're running, you take a brief pause to pull back, knock an arrow, and fire the arrow at it. You see the arrow fly through the air, and as it goes shooting through the air, it hits the shadow, and as you see the arrow penetrate into the shadow, you see a small shadowy explosion, and the explosion creates a very significant audible sound, but you just see the shadows move in all the directions and fade away.
All of the shadows do?
Just the one that he hit.
Okay. Okay.
No one's within. As that happens, the other two shadows begin to fly directly up in the air and begin to move further away from you guys, vertically.
I got me one!
Okay. So as that happens and everyone catches pace with you and gets up to where you are at and is looking up or looking to the point where you hit the shadow, everyone's able to see the other two fly higher and higher until you're no longer able to see them.
Darn.
Hurl another insult at him!
Would Khan still sense the undead presence?
He still feels it all around. At this point, though, as he's feeling the presence of the undead, probably about 700 or 800 feet in front of you, he gets the feeling of the lack of undead, or the sense that the undead isn't in a specific direction, almost in front of you guys. Other than that, the sense of undead still fully envelops his senses.
Let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
Okay. So as you guys continue to move forward into that direction, you're able to make your way towards the area where there seems to be some type of anomaly around his sense of surrounding of undead. As you guys approach you're able to see a man and a boy along with one horse. They're kind of off into the woods just a little bit, and there appears to be both of them bowing down to a holy symbol that's adorned with some jewels. They appear to be praying at this holy symbol. Let me see if you
I
guys.
will ride over to them and say, "Greetings, friends."
Let me see if you. Let me know if you guys can see that or not. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah,
I
I got
see.
the 6 pane with the bottom with the map being really small.
Okay, let me do it this way.
While he's engaging with that, because this is immediately following the battle, right?
Is that better?
This is immediately. Or need to go get my horse.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I did.
Okay. Okay. So it takes the person some time before he finishes his prayer and acknowledges you. But as he finishes his prayer and realizes that you guys are coming up on him, he gives you the idea that he's afraid. His mannerisms and his son's mannerisms give you the idea that he's afraid or scared and startled that you guys are there.
Okay, I'll try to reassure them that everything's all right. And no, friends, we're just traveling through. We're going to what is it, Gloomtown? What's the name of the town again?
What's that? Shadow Grange.
Going to Shadow Grange.
It's kind of like
We
Seattle.
don't know how far away Shadow Grange is from here.
Shadow Grange. You see him backing up, and he points and says, "Shadow Grange is about 4 days down the path that you're currently on. Just keep heading that way."
I'll thank him and say, "Fancy coming upon you. What do you do here?"
Well, I'm going to head to Shadow Grange here in several days to pick up some stuff for our farm. But I'm stopping here at the holy symbol. That way I can get some rest for tonight.
Well, would you mind? We would certainly enjoy the pleasure of your accompaniment.
Oh,
If you're willing, I will play for the evening and entertain you, and then on the morrow we shall travel with you, if you don't mind.
you guys can go ahead without me. I'm just I'm gonna stay here by the shrine, and you guys can go without me.
My good friend, I'd even be willing to pay to have you along as our guide.
Oh, that's quite all right. I not in the guiding business. You guys feel free to move along. You can stay here if you like tonight next to the shrine, but you guys go ahead.
Well, then, could we accompany you? How much to accompany you?
Oh, my son and I don't need any accompaniment. Go ahead and make a perception check.
12, 13.
So you can see that his son is clearly backing away from the whole party. You and everybody else gets just a general sense of fear from him. Like he is definitely afraid of all of you.
I'm going to start going into one of my performance routines where I start making the smoke and everything else to just try to chill these guys out a little bit.
Okay.
Calm them down.
Okay. Go ahead and make your performance.
while he's doing that, are they afraid of us in general, or just afraid of being around us because of possibly something else that's around?
You get the idea that they're just afraid of you guys in general based on what you guys know around here, knowing that there's a bunch of undead. They're not even, you get the idea that they don't trust who you guys are. He's never seen you before, is what you get from it.
I get a 15 on my performance.
Okay. So as you begin to play, you can see the mannerisms in his face start to ease. As you look past him into his son, his son appears to ease much more quickly than he does. But they still have a standoffish nature from you.
So, yeah, I'll continue to play and say, come on, friends. I can play for the evening. We'll take watch with you to make sure that you don't need to stay up the whole time. You obviously have a lot of knowledge and information about the right way to do things around here locally. And I'd love to hear more about this holy symbol and how we may properly show homage before them to be able to protect our passage.
Okay. So as you go ahead and make just a general charisma.
Would it be a persuasion or just general charisma?
On this one, just general charisma.
Okay. That's a 15.
Okay. After a little bit of time, he begins to warm up to the group in general. He asks, he looks specifically at Ray and Khan, more so kind of in backing away from, more so interested in Ray than Khan. You get the feeling that because Khan's a half orc, has a little more intimidating feature to him. He looks at Ray and says, "It's not common that you see elves or half elves around here. Are you by chance coming to hunt vampires, or are you vampires, or what is going on?"
We are not vampires. We're not.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So,
I'd like to try and thank you.
so as you say you're not vampires, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small object, probably the size of 2 fingers or so, and throws it at you. Just a gentle toss, not wind up and pitch.
Playing with it.
So
Say that again?
catch it, look it over.
Okay. You look at it and it's garlic. So seeing you catch it, he gets the idea that you guys are who you say you are, that you're not vampires, and enjoys the music. As this goes along, he tells you that the shrine here provides safety for travelers and is a ward against some of the evil creatures that are in the area. It can keep away.
Are there more of these?
Say it again.
Are there more of these around?
Oh, there's plenty of them through the areas. You just have to know exactly where to look. If you look for trees, like the one out front, and as he's pointing to the one that's just right off the road, you'll see that on the back side of the tree, all of the branches are broken, and on the front of the tree, it looks whole. And this is an indicator to where the shrines are are located through. As you look at the shrine, you're able to see the shrine is basically the same shape as the main part of the necklace that the guy who's wearing the necklace in back in the town that you guys came from. Sorry, my mind's blanking on me. Yes, thank you. Asgarth.
Asgard.
So the person that brought the quest to you, it's the same symbol just carved out of the tree trunk, and it's adorned with various religious items, things like that. He tells you this is an area that's been protected and keeps the evil away, and is a safe spot to rest at night during travels.
Well, outstanding. How fortunate of us to have come across you to be able to show us these things. We're truly grateful for this.
Are there any portable ones of these?
Portable? I don't. I mean, they're all made out of tree trunks. I mean, if you had, you know, the blessings of the church, they might be able to give you one. But actually, he reaches into his bag and pulls out a smaller bag, and says, I have one of the symbols. I don't know how well it keeps the undead away, but I've worn it for a really long time. And if you guys want me to come with you to Shadowgrange, if you guys can promise me safe passage, I'll be more than willing to give you this necklace that has the symbol on it.
So we will defend you as one of our own.
Okay?
Kitty Cat Man Storm, what do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay. As you guys oh crap, there it goes. All right, so as you guys settle in there, he starts telling you a little bit more about himself. His name is Anton. He has a farm and some sheep in a village that is probably 2 days behind you. The village is Lammas, Lammas. He is traveling to Shadowgrange to get some items, and after a while begins to give you the idea that he's starting to fear for his family, because of the amount of growing undead in the area. So that's kind of what he gives you as you guys begin to rest around the shrine.
When he mentions undead, I look at the two paladins, and do they have any reaction to that? I mean, asking the paladins, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like, do they look interested? Do they look eager, indifferent?
Indifferent looks like.
Sure. So.
All right.
I'm a bit indifferent just because we knew what we would be coming up to.
Oh man, and with that I summoned the paladin himself.
No.
Here I am.
This is 2 times in a row that you guys have spoke of the tailor, and he shows up.
So we're on a journey to go to this this town, Shadow Grange, and it's like spooky, and you're getting nothing but pings of undead everywhere. And now this farmer has just directly mentioned undead. So I look at you to see what your reaction to hearing about undead.
So, actually, a little bit of excitement.
Yeah.
Might some evil.
Oh yeah.
I
Time to
didn't.
get in the killing spirit.
There's been lots of talk about vampires too.
Even better.
Well, there
So we
it is.
shall accompany this fine gentleman and head towards. So we're going, Anton. Let us go and be off.
Okay. So are you guys going to, I know you rested at the beginning part of the day all the way up until about a few hours ago and it's evening. Do you guys want to stay here or do you want to move along through the night as you did before?
No, I think we definitely wait up with our new guide. I think that's well worth an evening's travel, night's travel.
I say we plan our camping for when we can find one of these shrines.
Do you want to just move out and leave them?
I don't want to leave it. We can take it with us.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a farmer in need, so I say we go with him.
I can,
With us.
Yeah, but that means waiting until, like, I think he's bedding down for the night. So we would now bed down for the night and then leave out with him tomorrow morning, unless we want to try to convince him to travel at night with us when he's already traveled all day long.
Oh, now that
That's-
the methods are gone, we're not being taunted by anything, right?
as of right now, you're not being taunted, no.
And this area seems like it's devoid of the undead touch. Which could make us
Yeah.
assume that all the other shrines would be devoid. But we just spent the night here and then set up our camps for the following night based on when we can find a shrine. Probably work
Not all
best.
of us can see in the dark too, so yeah, that's a good idea.
And Anton definitely cannot see in the dark. And he tells you that he can show you where the next shrine is along the path on the way to Shadow Grange. He is willing to go with you at night. However, you can tell that him and his son are tired.
Joseph, you look sleepy too. Why don't we sleep?
It was rather challenging to sleep during the day, I must say.
Okay.
Let us bed down then.
Okay, so you guys decide to set up a camp here. Most of you are not tired.
Our cats can always sleep.
True. Other than the couple of you that had trouble falling asleep during the day, everyone else is fairly wide awake. How do you want to do your evening?
I'll take first watch.
I'll stay with Kitty Cat Man. He looks very comfortable.
That is very comfortable. Thank you.
I pull out my dice set and start playing around with them.
Okay.
Oh wait, somebody plays dice?
Yeah, we played dice all the time back in the military.
I could play dice.
Are you guys wanting to play a dice game?
Sure.
I hear a wager coming on.
Okay. If that's what you guys want to do, are you guys gonna wager any money?
I use a friendly game would be fun.
Okay. So what I'll have you guys do is roll 5 D6s.
I'm playing too just because I can.
Okay. Who else is going to play?
Well, this is the Wazoo game, right?
The what?
For first watch.
Oh, for first watch? Is that what you guys are playing for? Okay, so
Well, we're okay, sure.
okay,
We could-
as you guys roll the dice, the point of the game is try to convince everybody that you know the number that has appeared on everybody's dice. So for example, if I roll 5 dice and they all come up 6s, my first bid would be 5 6s. And then it would go around until basically you think someone is lying enough or there's not enough dice of that number to call them out. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do this.
So go ahead and roll your 5d6s.
I need to get one more thing. Sure. Alright.
And then we'll go ahead and start with Durek and Durek's initial bid.
Sorry, what was that?
So you roll your 5d6s,
Okay.
and then so at this point there's 3 people playing, so there's a total of 15 dice. So what you want to do is bid to the point where either you get the highest bid based on the number of dice, or someone calls your bluff. So for example, if you rolled 6 d6s, yeah. So for example, you roll that, so you would bid 1 6, and then it would go to the next person, and they have to bid higher than your bid. So they could bid 2 1s or 2 6s, and then it goes around until finally someone stops and says, "That's a lie." It's basically the same game they played on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Dead men.
So
6.
I'll let you go ahead and hide your dice, Matt, and re-roll so no one knows what you have. I don't know the actual name of this. I just know the rules.
Okay, 1 6.
All right, and then it'll go to Savarith,
2 2s.
and then to Storm.
3 4s.
And then back to Derek.
So what do I do now?
So you either have to bid higher than 3 4s or call out Storm.
I call out Storm.
All right. So how many 4s does everybody have?
0 for Severup.
I have no fours.
And how many 4s does Storm have?
1.
Okay. So Storm loses. And then it's up to Durek and Savarith. So go ahead and re-roll.
Oh, and the game's name is Dice.
It's what?
Called Liar's Dice.
Liar's Dice. Thank you. So, Durek, you'd go first.
2 6s.
3 4s.
And then back to you, Durek.
3 6s.
I already said 3. I said 3 4s, so he has to do 4, right?
Well, 3 6s would beat 3 4s.
Oh. I don't have any sixes, so I'm gonna call your bullshit.
All right. So you have no sixes?
Uh-uh.
I got two
2
sixes.
5s, 2 4s, and a 3.
All right. So you called them out. So Savrith would win, whatever the pot between you guys was, and that is in general how you would play this particular dice game. If you guys want to continue,
Good
feel
game,
free.
my man. Good game. Keep your chump change. Good game. I'll take first watch. Who's with me?
I'll take watch again.
You're taking the second watch? Okay. Yosef, what watch are you taking? That response tells it all. Oh, he's not even at his chair. Initiate, Con,
I
and
think he
Ray.
would be. We'll take the next one.
Okay. Ray, are you taking watch with Durek then?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So everyone takes a rest, along with Anton. You notice that Anton's fairly tired. He's willing to stand watch with anybody. In fact, he offers to stand watch with Severith to start with.
Sleep, my good man. There's no need. We will cover this shift and all of them. Get some good rest.
All right. So he goes and beds down with everyone else around the shrine. Go ahead and make your perception checks.
5.
16.
Okay. So other than just general animal sounds throughout the night, your guys' watch passes uneventfully. And you don't even hear the faint sounds of any type of shadow creature trying to annoy you. So you guys finish up your watch. The next two, so Durek and Ray, you guys are woken up. The other two go to sleep. Go ahead and make your perception checks.
13.
Okay. And Durek?
I'm still on watch.
You're taking the second one.
Okay. 19.
Okay. So you guys hear just general animal sounds. Durek, you're actually able to hear a bird fly in fairly close and fly out during your watch, but other than that, passes uneventfully. And then Initiate and Con, as you guys are woken up and Durek and Ray go to bed, go ahead and make your perception.
18 for initiate.
Okay. Con, go ahead and make your perception check. Or, sorry, yeah, Con.
You hear us?
I don't know if, can you hear us, Colonel Taylor? I don't think he can hear us.
Ew.
I feel like I should type something in the group or text him. Can you not hear
I'm
us?
sending a message.
I'm gonna send him a message really quick.
I think he figured out something's wrong.
All right. We'll give him a second here. There's that intimidating colonel look that he has. Can you hear us?
Ew.
Nope.
I can hear you now. I lost y'all.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, let me do it this way. Okay. 1 second while we troubleshoot our technical difficulties here. Maybe this will help it.
Drink break.
Yeah, this would be a good point to take a break.
While we break, who's down for a game of dice?
I'll go.
I have. Let me look at my character sheet and what goodies I have to put up.
All right, so got everybody back online now?
I'm back. Yeah, sorry about
All right, so starting the last watch, Initiate, what was your perception?
18.
And Con?
9.
9. So as it nears the middle of your watch, you hear in a faint sound, the both of you in the distance, something you're both familiar with hearing before, an insult come through the dark saying, "Look at the religious half-orc, half-human thing walking around, acting like he's better than everyone." Flies past you, you hear the insult, and the wisp flies away. So as you know at this point, there's some shadow nymphs that basically just harass you. Before,
Did you say I heard that?
yeah, you and Initiate both heard it. As before you actually got online, they basically hurl insults at you. They stay a good distance away and have never really attacked you or done anything to the party. They're just a nuisance to you.
We were able to kill one of them though because we snuck up on it and killed it.
That's it. Basically what I'm going to try to do this time. I'm going to kind of try to meld into the shadows and try to track it down.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
13.
Crunch.
They, as you hear them flutter away, hurling their first insult at Khan, you hear the boisterous sound of them laughing coming through the sides of the mountain. And you hear him say, "Look at the smelly monk trying to sneak into the tree. They'll never catch us. The other one was just as free." I don't know, I can't come up with a rhyme for that.
Just once I hear it, I'll make my way back.
Okay. After those two small insults, you don't hear any more insults, and they seem to have gone as everyone else is starting to wake up.
I'll tell everybody that those little shadow things are back.
Is this dawn, you said?
Yeah, so this is dawn. So typically this dawn is obviously same purplish haze, about half the light of what you would be used to at dawn in Asgard.
So I'll say, oh really? Are all of them back?
Yep. Tried to sneak up on him, but it didn't work.
Is it really all three, or is there just two of them? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we killed one, so it should just be two, right?
Right. From what you could tell, you only heard one. It's the sounds of them moving. You couldn't tell how many there were there.
Okay.
But for all intents and purposes, you believe that there's probably just the two.
So yeah, I'll say, are all three of them back?
And you hear nothing from the distance.
I'll say, or is it just two? I don't think there will be three anymore, because their little friend is gone. How could that have happened?
Okay. So it's dawn. You don't hear anything from the shadows. What would you guys like to do?
Proceed to the next point. Let us continue mission.
Okay. So Anton and his son pack up some of their things, and they tell you that in the probably about an 8-hour trek from here is the next shrine to get to. Once they get there, they can bed down, and then after that, they'll be able to hit one of the cities in Stensia before they get to Shadow Grange. Little town of Yeza, Jezza, that you guys will be able to stop in 2 days before you get to Shadow Grange. So as you guys move along the path and start to head towards the next point, or the next shrine, I don't know if, see if you can see this. So that's what the shrine looks like, basically carved out of wood. I know I don't think you were here when I showed this to everybody.
So how does it determine who's on the screen? Because like, for some reason I see Phil on that. That's it.
You can adjust it, Matt.
No, I've tried.
The only way you can adjust it is if you pull an icon down from one of the others and kind of dock it.
Because
very.
I'm trying to pull on the icons and I don't get anything. Like I can't manipulate any of the icons.
Onto the left of the icons, there's a little square symbol, and there's a speaker view and grid view. If you have it on speaker view, it will only show who's speaking.
Ah, okay.
User error.
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, we can tell who's not a chief.
Yeah.
So onward we travel.
All right. So you guys are able to travel during the day to the next shrine. Fairly uneventfully. You do get the same sense of the evil undead all around. Both paladins have that same sense.
I want to talk to Initiate before we make camp and be like, hey man, I want to hide out and wait for these dudes to come back again and shoot them with an arrow in the knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when everyone else makes camp, we'll start prepping our disguises, hide in the bushes.
Okay. What's your passive? Or not, I guess that wouldn't be. Go ahead and make stealth checks.
Mine's +7.
That's more like it. So yeah, 22 for me.
Okay.
14 plus 7. 20. 22 as well.
Okay. So you guys, as everybody starts to settle down for the night, you guys are both able to make your area a little bit away from everyone else, to where you believe that the shadow creatures will not see you or be able to find you as they fly around at night. That being said, let me pull up the here. All right. Why is this? There we go. All right. So as you guys settle in, it's towards the evening prior to dinner. What would you guys like to do before going to sleep for the night?
I will have my servant cook me a nice meal.
Okay.
And my unseen servant, I should say. And then while I'm doing that, I will tell some tales around the campfire to entertain everybody.
I'll probably sharpen my axes. Or my axes.
Okay.
Con will join in while he's telling his stories and pull out his new drum that he purchased and tap out a beat to go along with the story that he's telling.
Oh, nice. You found one. Yeah, I'll see you, and I'll go to pull my drum out, and then I see that you've got yours, and I'll just kind of put it back in all sad face.
All right. Setting up. All right, so as you guys begin to play, and things start to settle down for the night, you definitely can tell that the boy who is with Anton is much more calm right now.
Relax.
Yes. I'll have let's see. Go ahead and make a performance check.
That is a nat 20.
Oh.
So that's going to be a 26. Plus,
Feeling motivated.
Guess you don't need advantage.
yeah, I guess with advantage. The other one's an 18, so it is definitely quite a show.
So you guys play. Anton and his son are completely at peace, and the songs that you play both inspire, amuse, and then towards the end, as everyone's getting ready to bed down, easily enables people to put their minds at rest so they can fall asleep quickly. How are you guys, as you guys finish up? I don't know how late you wanted to play into the night.
Not too long.
So probably a few hours or so before midnight. You guys finish up and most everyone's laying down. Who's taking the first two watches? Or the first watch, I'm sorry, not first two.
Take the first one again.
Okay. So Durek and Ray, first watch. Let's see. Initiate and Sabrath, are you guys gonna sleep, or are you guys wanting to hang out in the?
We're hiding until they show up and see if we can surprise them if they decide to come by. At least that's what I think we're doing.
Okay.
Yep,
So
I agree.
Initiate and Sabrith kind of move away a little bit from the group to be able to hide next to some trees to see if they can identify the shadow creatures, and then Yosef and Khan are gonna to sleep, if that's how I hear it correctly.
Yep.
All right. So Anton and his son are already fast asleep as you guys are starting to bed down. As the first watch begins, go ahead and Durek, Ray, Initiate, and Savarith make perception checks.
16.
Okay.
That would be a natural 1.
Nice.
Okay. Savarith, what'd you roll?
It's actually a 15, not a 13.
15. Okay. And then Ray?
8.
8.
That's real bad.
So from the distance, a little bit quieter than what your previous sounds have you've heard the shadow creatures say. You both Savarith and Durek hear the shadows say, "This is the night that it happens. This is the night that the visitors will be surprised. Prepare, because tonight is the night they all die."
Oh shit.
Do we know?
Yo.
Can we see him? Can we not see him?
You can't see him.
Identify them enough to shoot at them.
You can't see them. You get a vague idea of where they're at. Go ahead and make go ahead and let me pull it here really quick. Go ahead and make a nature check for me. Let's do it that
Oh,
way.
that's actually one thing I'm good at. +4, baby. Woo! 18 total. 14 plus 4. 18.
So
Bam.
you have an idea that they are directly south of you. There's not a lot of trees in the way. You can't see them, but you know that, I mean, there's an opening. If you wanted to hurl an arrow at their way, nothing would block it.
Taking the shot, baby. Taking the shot. Here we go.
All right. So this is going to be at distance. This is 110 feet.
How far does a longbow shoot? 1.
You should have that distance in your, but is it?
Yeah, it's 150. Is it within 150 or outside 150?
It's within 150.
Okay, so I don't get disadvantage. Unless you tell me.
But you can't see them, so it's basically a shot in the dark.
Got it. I'll shoot at disadvantage. Here we go, baby. Come on. Natural 20 and a natural 1.
So that is awesome.
That sucks.
So you
That sucks.
you hear that, you turn around, knock the arrow, and you shoot it in the air. You hear it whistle through the air, and nothing.
Good. I didn't shoot myself.
Nope. You didn't shoot yourself. You didn't hit any of your party guys because you shot in the opposite direction. However, if you were shooting over them, I'm sure something would have happened.
True.
Okay. So as your guys' watch progresses, you hear that sound. You shoot the arrow. As it gets close to about the middle of your watch, you hear some movement right in the middle of the party where both Khan and Yosef are sleeping.
Where Yosef is sleeping.
Yeah, Yosef and Khan are
I guess
asleep.
we're gonna. You hear some movement around their area.
Yes.
who wants to wake him up? He sleeps so peacefully. Who's awake right now? Is it just us still?
Initiate and Savrith, you guys are about 20 feet from the rest of the party. Durek and Ray are on watch. Durek hears the movement. Go ahead and make another perception roll, Durek.
20.
Okay. So you can see that both Anton and his son, they appear to be sleeping very unrestlessly. There's a lot of movement. The movement seems to be coming from them.
Don't really
I
see.
think we're gonna get werewolf, but that's just me talking, not my character.
Oh, that'd be cool if you turned into a werewolf.
So don't see anything. You hear them. You can see them moving in the bag or in their sleeping area.
Nothing that would cause me to be able.
You just see them in general. It looks like they're sleeping very unrestlessly at this point.
Okay.
All right. So a few minutes pass. They both continue to move, except now it's much more violent of a move. At this point, both you and Ray watch as Anton and his son stand up on both their legs and their hands, and they appear to have gotten a little bit larger. As they stand up, you hear a loud scream come out from them as a sound of a large wolf echoes through it, and you see both Anton and his son reach over and make bite attacks at both Yosef and Khan.
Oh,
So
and we're still asleep, right?
you guys are both
so
asleep.
It's what? It's a auto hit and a critical, right?
Yes.
Well, they have advantage.
Yeah, they have
I'm not
advantage.
I'm not wearing any armor, so armor class is only 10.
All right.
And if it's a
So
melee attack, it's a critical hit.
they take.
And in this edition of the round, I think I still get my dex bonus.
Yeah. So they take bites. They bite down first on Yosef. Does a 6 hit? Sorry, 11. Does 11 hit?
Yeah.
11 does hit.
Well, okay. So the question is, do I count my dexterity?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not when you're asleep. I thought sleep was a natural
Because
automatic hit.
in old editions of the rules, they had a separate dexterity. They had a separate armor class. They called what was it?
Flat-footed.
They got a separate armor class for no dex. But in this edition, I don't think they have any
Yeah,
requirements.
that's
So-
not a thing. I think the mechanic, you would still count your dex bonus.
All right, I am a dex of 12 then. Or
Okay.
excuse me, armor class 12.
So 11 doesn't hit, and I'm not counting these as auto hits just because they're just turning and they're making generic bites, not directed specifically at you. It's just you two are the closest.
Okay.
And then
Do I wake up? Like, do I
Um,
feel something on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they bite at you, they hit the hammock that you're in, and it drops you out of the hammock. Con, 11, or sorry, 10.
Yeah, 10 hits.
Okay. So you, let's see here. D8. You are going to take 6 points of biting damage or piercing damage, and you need to make a DC 12 con save.
Con for the con. Roll the 15 plus 3, it'd be an 18.
Okay. So the smaller of the two bite into you. It wakes you up instantly. At this point, everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
Sure. 16.
4.
Okay.
17.
Who had a 4?
Storm had a 4.
Okay. Yosef,
Cyberoff 14.
14.
Joseph is 11.
11. Initiate
8.
and Khan.
5.
Okay. So at that point, first one is Dirk. Did you have an 18 or 16?
16.
All right. So Ray, you're first.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull up the map on that one. So to give you an idea here, Durek is here. Yosef, Initiate's over here. Savrith is here with him. Ray is right here. Khan is right here, and then Storm is right here. And then the two let's see, and then the two people are right there. Clearly, you guys are able to see that they have turned into werewolves as the full moon in the sky reaches midnight.
Like they could have warned us.
Yeah.
They could have. All right, Ray.
Okay, so the one that's right by me, how close are they?
So you're within 5 feet. I mean, you're right next in melee distance of this one right here.
Okay. Okay. So I am gonna pull out my trident because might as well skewer them while they're that close.
Skewer them.
That's a 6, right? 6 sided.
Yeah.
4. All right.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, and then you add your what are you attacking with again?
A trident.
Your trident. So your strength and is paladins, is it strength and dexterity or is it just strength?
Trident in general.
Does she have an attack modifier though?
Trident.
She would be proficient with that one.
Is she throwing it or using it as a melee?
Melee weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would use her strength modifier.
Strike.
Yeah. So what's your strength?
Okay, hold on a second.
It's versatile.
Oh, if it's versatile, she could use either.
Dex. Yeah, so it's her choice if she wants to use.
Or no, finesse is when you can use either.
Yeah, versatile just means you can use two hands and you get
You
like
can use
a
it one
D8.
or two handed, yeah.
If you use two hands, you just get D10.
D8 for versatile, D6 for regular.
Okay.
So
10.
on the, I'm looking at strength try.
Okay.
Mine, I think is 0. What it looks like it does.
So what's your
What's your
strength?
strength?
So on like, I rolled a 4,
Right.
but like on all my stuff, that says strength is 0.
Okay, so you don't have a modifier for strength then.
No.
So then you rolled a 4, so you miss. So you reach out with the trident to try to hit the werewolf, and you miss. You can take bonus action. You can move. It's up to you.
So which dice was I supposed to roll?
The 20.
Oh, I didn't roll a 20. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry, I'm trying to put a small child to sleep too, but it's not working.
No worries.
Ether works well for that.
So I rolled a 15 on the 20.
Okay, so that hits.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That's what okay. So I got a 6.
Okay, and then plus 0, so it takes 6 points of damage. All right. Any other actions you want to take? Bonus action?
No.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to Durek.
All right. Is everyone still asleep?
Everyone's awake at this point. Their attacks woke up the 2 people that were asleep.
Okay, so I'll move up to I'll move up to the one at the right.
This one here?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll and I still have my hand axes out. So I'll attack with my.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
19.
That hits.
And then 1d6. That's 10 damage.
All right.
And then I'll attack with my second hand axe.
All right.
So that's 20.
You rolled a 20 or?
Just a regular 20.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
That would be. Do I add my damage bonus to the attack on the 2 weapon fighting, or?
Not on your offhand.
No, yeah, not on your offhand one.
So it would just be.
Unless you actually have. Did you take that that skill, that fighting style?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So just 2 more damage.
Okay. All right. So as you hit into the wolf with the 2 axes or the axe 2 times, you see it take some damage. It seems to not have the same effect as you would expect it to have. Do you have any bonus action or movement you'd like to make?
That was my bonus action, the second hit.
Okay. All right. That then brings us to Savrith.
Animal friendship won't work. That's good to know. So I'm going to bonus action and snare and strike again.
Okay.
And try to shoot the one that is nibbling on our good paladin over there, who's got spitting in the beep.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
23.
23 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And they need to make a strength save or be ensnared and not be able to move.
All right.
And that's 11 damage.
Okay. So that one takes.
Boom. That's my sound effect.
So you see it hit, and the vines grow around it, and it seems to be struggling to break out of them. As of right now, it looks like it's
Tuck and roll for tuck and roll.
It looks like it's constrained.
And it takes 1d6. Is that right? Yeah, 1d6 piercing damage per turn on its turn.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So Savrith, that leads us to Yosef.
All right, so I'll tell everybody, don't kill them, don't kill them. These are the farmer and his son. Goodness gracious. Use the butts of your weapons, and I will cast Bane on them, so they each owe me a 14 saving throw.
Okay.
And that is, I think, yeah, the charisma saving throw.
Charisma.
And I will use a bonus action to, let's see, so who has not gone yet?
Who's not
I
gone
haven't
yet?
yet.
Con has
All right, I'll give Initiate Bardic Inspiration.
A D6.
Yep.
So the one here.
My screen is completely frozen,
Okay.
so I haven't seen any movement for quite a while.
All right. So the one closest to you.
The one that is, oh, okay, go ahead, sorry.
So the one that's closest to you makes its charisma save. The one further from you does not.
Is the one that's ensnared, did the ensnared one make it?
The ensnared one did not make his, but the one closest to you did. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Okay. And then I will quickly move behind one of the paladins, whichever one's closer to me.
So what does Bane do?
Bane is going to be minus D4 on anything basically. So attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks. Let's see.
And how long does this last for?
Concentration up to a minute.
Okay. All right. So the one that you
attack rolls or saving throws is the.
No, that's not right. Here, this one. So it's going to take a swipe at you as you back away from it. Does 13 hit?
No.
Okay, so it takes a swipe at you as you're able to get behind.
Or, no, I'm sorry, 13 does. Yes, 13
Okay.
is my armor class. Or, well, that did.
Yep, that's with the -2 that I rolled with the D4.
Okay.
So it's going to So 8. So you're going to take 4 points of piercing damage, and you're going to need to make a
Con.
DC 12 con save.
I did not make that con save, and then I also need to make a Constitution save.
Yes.
Or excuse me, a concentration save. Okay. I did make the concentration save, but I did not make the first Constitution save.
So must succeed failure of the DC 12 con save throw or be cursed with the werewolf philanthropy. Like kind of
Nice.
All right.
Do you want to be a werewolf? Is that considered a disease, Steven?
Let me look it up really quick.
I think so.
I think so too.
Boy, am I glad to know 2 paladins.
Come on.
If it's more of a curse, we might need something higher level. If it's a disease, we can cure you.
Well, it says in the thing, it says, or be cursed with the werewolf philanthropy. So I'm assuming it would be a curse as opposed to a disease.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It is a curse. Curse of lycanthropy is what it's referred to as.
Okay. All right. So next, Yosef, then initiate. It's a lot of noise. I don't know who's
Somebody in here with water.
there. It went away. Clicking in. Wait.
Somebody's coming in really
I think you're able to mute.
I don't know whose that one is. It doesn't show me who's making the noise.
It is me.
Yeah, you're the one that's super loud.
All right, so I'm trying
You
to
still hear it?
unmute.
Now it's better.
Hey, Bradford, see if you can unmute. Okay. Yep, it went away. All right, so that brings us to initiate.
Get him!
Okay. So I'm going to rush to the closest one. Do I have enough movement of at 40, I think?
Oh yeah, you got plenty of.
Yeah.
And that one's also restrained.
All right. That one's restrained, so I have advantage on the attack.
Yes.
Alright, so first one's going to be my silvered dagger.
Nice.
And that's a natural 20.
Okay, that barely hits.
And since would I know if there's possible cures to lycanthropy? Would I know what this is?
Make a religion check.
That's a 7.
So you don't even know what's causing them to turn.
Alright, so I'm just straight up trying to kill him.
Yep.
So first attack is a 8 piercing damage with silvered.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use a key point for a flurry of blows, so that's 2 more attacks. That's a 19 and a 16 to hit. 17 to hit.
It hits.
19 and 17.
Yep.
And that's another 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So at this, you come up and you're able to hit it with the silver dagger twice. This one, I mean, starting to look pretty bloody. That will bring us to con.
Like somebody's sharpening a knife.
A silver knife. You're muted.
That's the one. Yeah. Hang on.
There you go. Got it. Oh, just muted it again.
All right. I'm still prone, right?
Yes, because you were asleep.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand up, scoop up my shield,
Okay.
so I at least have that. I'm going to look at the creature that attacked me and tell him, halt, cease your attack, vile creature, and cast the spell Command.
Okay.
That's a DC 12 Wisdom save.
12 wisdom. And 15, it passes. I rolled a 15 and he doesn't have any wisdom modifier, so.
Okay, so he did not respond to the spell, so I will back away from it.
Okay. And it's restrained so it doesn't get attack of opportunity.
So I still have. I'm gonna put myself between the bard and the other creature that's not restrained. I can move 15 feet.
So you're going to come to here. All right. So it's not as easy to control the map when it's on the floor.
And I gotta drop off, folks, or I'm gonna be sleeping in the doghouse tonight.
All right.
Good luck, sir.
All right, take it easy.
Yep, have a good night.
All right, bye.
All right. That brings us to the one that's restrained. What does he have to do to become unrestrained?
Oh, he can't. It's impossible. Just kidding. He needs to be my DC save, so he needs to roll a 13 or better strength, and it takes his turn. But he also suffers the 1d6 piercing, regardless.
Okay. So you see the larger of the two struggle to become unrestrained. Does not successfully make it. That brings us to Storm.
Okay, I'll stand up.
Okay.
I'll use my movement to get to the one that's not restrained.
One that's not restrained.
And I'll attack it.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
$20.
That hits.
And 6 points of damage.
All right. All right, so that brings us to the smaller werewolf's attack. So he's going to.
Could I? The 2-weapon fighting, is that only with finesse weapons?
It would have to
No,
be.
it's just it has to have the one-handed property. So it can't be a versatile or a two-handed weapon.
So I could use my unarmed to attack with my other side?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I'll do that then.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
20 again?
That hits. Natural or unnatural?
No, it was a 15.
Okay.
Natural. And I don't have my strength, right? A whopping 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Smack.
So you see it take your 2 hits and howls back at you, and it's going to make a strike at you. Where's it at? 13, 14, 16 hit.
Yes.
All right. And it's going to be 9 points of piercing damage and a DC 12 Constitution save.
17.
So you make the save, but you still take 9 points. Excuse me.
Dang.
The Guinness is not agreeing with me right now. 9 points of piercing damage.
Stop threatening us, Steven.
That's why no one's over here playing. Everybody's on Skype today. Rona's in the house. All right. That brings us to the top of the order. Ray.
Get him.
All right. You're muted, Andrea. There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. Which one bound? The one with the white on it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's. I mean, you're within striking range of that one.
Right. It seems wrong to try to kill it when it's already tied up.
Okay.
And then the other one.
This one here.
Yeah. I'll be honest, guys, I'm slightly conflicted about what we should do about this. As they seem scared and we were supposed to help them, and now they're attacking us. And...
You can always try to hit them with something to knock them out instead of actually killing them.
Oh, can I try to hit them with the butt of my dagger?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do that. I forgot we did that with the cobalt.
Yes.
Okay. So, I rolled a 16.
That hits.
Okay, and then a 5.
So 5 points of damage. All right. Anything else?
No.
Any bonus actions or? I forget that I have the player's handbook that you used last time, so. So I know you're kind of going in the wind here. So.
I'm trying to use that website, that D&D Beyond, and click on things so I can see what I can do.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any bonus action because I'm feeling conflicted as to what we should really do with these two. So.
Okay.
Knocking them out seems like a good choice at this point.
All right. And if that ends your turn, that takes us to Derek.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting kind of after being surprised with the attack, I'm gonna switch over to my my shield and my hammer in my hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to Can I tell if the guy that I'm next to looks bloodied at all?
The one next to you does not look bloodied.
Okay, so I'm going to. I don't want to kill the guy, but I'm going to swing my hammer at him to kind of knock him out if possible.
Okay.
Without killing him. So that's 18.
That hits.
$11.
11 points. Okay. So you hit him with your hammer. You see him take a step back and then comes back and howls right directly at you. Its sole focus is on you at this point. That's going to bring us to Sabrith.
Shooting the one that's not bound because my spell is still active.
Okay.
We have 16 in total.
16 hits.
Same thing on the strength check to see if it's ensnared or not. And the damage is going to be 8 points of damage.
8.
Take that, Tony.
And you're hitting the one that is not or is bound.
Is not ensnared, so I'm trying to ensnare the other one basically.
Okay. And then what does he need to make for?
It is a strength save, and he needs to be a 13.
It
Wait,
becomes.
you can only do one concentration spell at a time. Are you able to do that?
It's the same spell.
Oh, you just keep ensnaring people as you go?
Yep, and it's a minute long.
Wow,
6 times.
that's pretty cool.
Waiting to see what else I can do in a minute, but that's why I chose.
Nice, dude.
Oh, let's see here. Let's check on that just to make sure because I don't want to do this one
Ensnaring
wrong.
strike, level 1 conjuration, 1 bonus action self concentration up to 1 minute. The next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack before the spell ends, a writhing mass of 20 binds appears at the point of impact, and the target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the magical bind until the spell ends. Larger damage. The target succeeds on the save. The vine shrivel away. While restrained by the spell, the target takes 1d6 pierce. And then something next to it can free it too. So it doesn't say you can't use it on multiple targets.
No, because you would need to cast it again, though. Like, you need to cast a fresh version because you're restraining that target.
Duration, the concentration up to 1 minute.
For the.
As long as I'm focused, wouldn't it continue?
But would it continue on
a new target.
this new target though? That's what I'm looking up.
What is it
You
called?
go on a new target. It's called ensnaring strike.
Two of 3.
I guess it'd be a concentration question. So
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. Concentration.
Now, if it only allows you to do one target and it says concentration, then you concentrate on one target.
You have to continue concentrating on target, otherwise the spell will end and you'll be.
Some spells. Here you go. Here's what it says. Some spells require you to maintain concentration in order to keep the magic active. If you lose concentration, the spell ends. If a spell must be maintained with concentration, that fact appears in normal activity such as moving doesn't. However, normal activity such as moving and attacking doesn't interfere with concentration. The following factors can: casting another spell that requires concentration, taking damage, being incapacitated.
Yeah, so
Cast
you
another
you
spell that
said
requires-
casting another
Yeah, so
spell
if you
requires
cast it again, then even though you're casting the same spell, the new spell, even though it's the same, requires a different concentration. So you lose concentration on the first one, but have concentration on the second.
I'll go with that, but I could still attack, so my attack would still be
Yeah.
good, right?
Yep.
Okay, so maintain concentration on the one that's already stuck, and then just shoot the other one,
Okay.
which I already did.
And then what was your damage on that one?
8.
8. Okay. So at this point, the other one looks bloodied. So Yosef.
All right, so I will. I'll use vicious mockery
Okay.
on the one that. So yeah, the one that is not restrained. I'll use vicious mockery on it.
Okay.
And I'll say, "Your hair is falling out. It's patchy." Oh wait, I don't roll. You roll. So,
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing to say.
What's the? I rolled an 11 with no modifier.
Okay, so you take D4 damage, and you will have disadvantage on your next attack. And that is going to be 3 damage. And I'll say, remember everybody, just knock it unconscious.
Why would we do that?
Okay.
Render it senseless.
This one's starting to look worse for the wear more than the one that's entangled. Let's see. So after that, Yosef, that brings us to Khan.
He will ready an action to defend me.
Hold on, let me pull his character sheet back up.
I'm sure Bren would agree.
Which one is closest to Yosef?
To
Or
Yosef?
is it the same
The
one?
little one.
Well, Yosef is right here. And so
Yeah,
he's directly
Khan.
behind Khan.
Okay, well then, Khan will attack. So he got his longsword out and his shield.
Okay.
So he will attack. And he's gonna throw a smite on there. Let's see, it's gonna be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
And going to be 7 12 points of radiant damage.
Okay. So at this point, he's looking extremely bad, stumbling a little bit. You can tell that there's blood going through the majority of its fur. So the one that's restrained is going to make its strength save and rolls a natural 20, becomes unrestrained. And then that brings us to Storm.
I'm going. Can I do an investigation check to see if I notice anything weird about these guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, 23.
All right.
Can I tell that this is the farmer and his son?
Yes, you definitely know that this is Anton and his son. Other than knowing that's who they are, that they've turned into the werewolf, you can't make out between the larger werewolf and anything different about them. Some of the tattered clothes that they both have on them now that has started to rip as they grew larger.
Okay. But I do know it's the farmer and his son now. Right?
You do know it's the farmer and his son.
Okay. I'll attack again.
Okay. Are you attacking which one?
Says the son, the one I'm next to.
Okay.
It's 22 to hit.
That hits.
$11 damage.
Okay. So as you swing into this werewolf, you see it crumple before you and fall to the ground as the shape of the werewolf fades away back into the to the boy laying on the ground.
You killed it.
I choose to knock him unconscious instead of killing him.
Okay. It's unconscious.
Okay.
Boy slowly fading back into the shape of a human boy from a werewolf. That brings us to its turn, so it takes us to the top of the order. Ray.
You just give me?
Did I? Sure, why not? We'll let Initiate go this time.
So there's one still up.
Yeah, so technically during your move, the one that's still up is still restrained at this point during your move. He comes after the initiative order, and so it's still restrained for you.
Alright, so I still have advantage on the attack?
Yes.
Alright.
You can use that inspiration too.
Yep. Alright, so that's gonna be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
First on the silver dagger. And a roundhouse kick with a 17 to hit.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage for the silver dagger first.
That'll be 5.
Okay. And then the kick.
And 5 on the kick.
All right. And that brings us to Ray.
Okay. So we just have one.
Yes, the one that's closest to you.
Okay.
That was.
Okay, well, I'm gonna attempt to hit him and knock him out.
Okay.
But I have to choose, so that's not gonna happen.
Okay, so you swing and completely miss the werewolf. That takes us to Derek.
Alright. I'll attack with, I'll move up to them,
Okay.
then I'll attack with my hammer, trying to knock him out.
Okay. And you'd be flanking at this point.
I don't know what that means.
Means you get advantage.
I got like 24 or so.
Okay. Well, you can roll it again. You might get a
It's nice to have it.
natural 20. If
25.
okay. Go ahead and
you
roll.
don't flanking for adventurously?
What's that?
Oh.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Any of the optional rules in the DM's guide are not legal.
That would be
It's all right.
10 damage. Okay. It's still standing, barely. It's extremely bloody. The fur is coated in blood. That brings us to Sabrith.
I'm going to use my butt of my dagger to try to knock him out. Hit him in the head. Come on, baby. That is a natural one.
So as you come up to it to hit it, you trip and fall onto the ground.
Just kidding.
That will, unless you have a bonus action.
Nope.
All right, Yosef.
I'll try to roll over and look cool.
All right, I will use vicious mockery on him, and I'll tell him this is the father, right?
Yes.
I'll tell him his radishes have flaccid leaves.
Dang.
I always roll. You roll.
What's that?
You roll. 14 14 Christmas Day.
He rolls a 2.
Nice.
All right, then he takes
Burned it good.
2 damage, and he has disadvantage on his next attack. And then I will use Bardic Inspiration on Khan.
So, as you lay this insult across him, it appears that between the insult and the large amount
I
of
added injury to insult. Is that what you're saying?
the large amount of wounds that he's taken, he falls to the ground unconscious and reverts back into his human figure.
Okay. If he falls down, then I do not use my Bardic Inspiration.
Okay.
Okay.
That takes us out of combat. Both of them are lying unconscious on the ground with you guys.
Well, I'm already on the ground. I'll just snuggle up.
Yeah. So let's get these poor fools bound, and we can talk to them in the morning.
Okay.
Do I feel anything?
Let me look here.
Sense of remorse.
I'll
So,
check over the guys that have been struck and see if I can tell if anything's going on.
all right. So at this point, helps if I pull up the right one. So at this point, no, you do not. There's no visible effect on you at this point. You filled where you were bit. There's a burning feeling there, but at this point, nothing is causing you any harm.
Okay.
Do I think detect magic would do anything?
You could try.
Can I roll nature or history to see if I know anything about lycanthropy and what I need to do?
Yeah, both of you guys go ahead and well, you make the history check first, and then what were you wanting to do, Storm?
I was gonna check them with a medicine skill, but that only checks for diseases, so that wouldn't do anything.
Right.
But I was gonna use detect magic to see if there's any magic around.
Funk on me.
Okay.
Any lingering funk? Yeah. All right. So, does anybody have any ways to give me more on this? Like anybody else have any history that they could give me advantage?
oh, good.
I can do history, nature, or
Nature. I can give you nature.
So either one of the paladins would be a good help for you.
Okay, so
All right.
with whatever I can get advantage.
Well, the
Okay.
21 to help.
All right. Well, I will roll I'll roll a nature
Okay.
with advantage.
Two.
So that's going to be a 20.
Okay. So you know that many of the curses of philanthropy can be affected by human creatures, or humanoid creatures are typically affected by it. Or if it's born, or if a person's born to both parents being lanthropes. To remove a remove curse spell can remove the affected person from the curse, but a natural born person can only be freed from the curse with a wish.
Okay, and do I know when it will affect me? Like, am I concerned that it's going to affect me tonight or tomorrow night?
So at this point, you don't know when it will affect you.
The next full.
All right, well, I will.
It's like
so
you're
you guys
here.
better tie me up. Better tie me up too, till we can get this taken care of.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Initiate's going to enjoy this part of the night.
Where's that hammock he's got? Let's tie him up in this hammock.
Here we go.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say I'm just gonna tie him up with a hammer.
over the top. And then I still get a very nice, comfortable rest. I'm of no danger to anybody.
You're just being wrapped up and rolled in the dirt.
Okay.
So while this is all going on and they're doing their stuff, can I see if anything else is watching us or following us, or if the methods are about? Because they're probably watching us.
So go ahead and make perception check.
That is a 17.
So you can hear the flutters of the wings of the shadow creatures that are flying around, but they're not saying anything.
No idea which direction.
It's based on the mountain. It's a generic direction.
Okay.
All right. So both the father and his son are tied up. Yosef is tied up and rolled around in the dirt in his hammock. It's probably about 20 minutes past midnight, and only a few of you have gotten about 2 hours of rest. What would you like to do?
Interesting.
I offer to take watch, and then I laugh, and then I go to sleep.
I've already taken watch, so I'll get some rest here.
Does anybody need healing other than me?
Yeah, I need well, it's cursing, but yeah, I could use actually. I did get hit, didn't I?
Yeah, he did get hit.
I pull a bran muffin out and hand it to you.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
And muffin. I actually have, here's my notebook, or whatever it is.
Get 11 points back.
Thank you.
Cure wounds.
Okay.
And I pull out.
Oh, that's right. No, you don't have. I'm sorry. I'm thinking artificer when they get to level 3. You're not there yet, right?
No. And then I'll pull out a piece of fish and eat it and get.
All right.
Which one are you gonna do? Have you decided yet?
Battlesmith.
Sorry, what?
Battlesmith.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, artificer is really cool.
So at this point, you guys are able to rest somewhat throughout the night. You get enough to where you're able to recover any damage or spell slots. As you start to wake up in the morning, everyone wakes up right as dawn approaches, with the exception of Anton, his son, and Yosef.
Joseph.
Yeah. You guys are still asleep as everyone is waking up.
Cool. Let us continue to the town and see if we can't take these guys and get them to a temple and healed.
Okay.
Assuming that they were not born this way.
Well, even so, I'd say we turn them over to
I'll say I most certainly was not.
Yeah, we can't be sure.
turn them over anyway as abominations.
Do they say if they were I want to ask them, why didn't you tell us?
Okay.
I'm assuming they were born that way because the kid wouldn't have probably lived through lycanthropy without it.
So you wake them up. I'm assuming that you're waking up both Anton and his son. You wake him up and you ask him, why didn't you tell us about this?
What the fuck, dude?
So he goes, what are you talking about? I hurt so much. What happened last night?
Tried to murder us.
The boy speaks. We would never. And I mean, you can tell they're in pain as they're saying this.
So I'll start talking to him. Have you ever had before on a full moon found that you've woken up this way?
No, never. I've never felt this bad after waking up.
Were you recently bitten by a wolf?
No. Why would you say that?
I'm going to try to insight to detect whether they're
Yeah,
lying.
they're telling the truth.
Okay, go ahead.
In fact, I'll say to initiate, I think they might be lying to try to get him to have the advantage on his check. Because I think he probably got a lot better wisdom than I did.
All right. That is a.
Oh, use your dice!
I already used
I
it.
will Bardic Inspire him.
Okay. So that's a 1822.
Okay. So you can tell that both of them are definitely hiding something.
Nope.
As you ask, you see the boy.
I think a bunch of people are frozen.
Yeah.
I can
Rolled
see
so
Matt.
well.
I'm fine.
I can see everybody
You
moving.
trapped him in his lies so much that he's just dumbfounded.
Steven's frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen. Can you guys give me now? Can you guys hear me now? No? How about now? And on that note, how am I going to do this?
I will have my unseen servant untie me, since I don't want to stoop to asking any of these to do it.
Okay.
To untie you,
Yeah.
we will keep him tied up.
Yeah, that's why I'm having the unseen servant do it.
So
Yeah, but he can't. Unseen servant can't fight, right?
No.
So I will keep you tied up.
So let's see. As you hear him start to command his unseen servant, you go over to him and you grab the ends of the hammock in order to ensure that he doesn't become untied.
Wait.
All right.
Why are we trying to keep everybody tied up during the day?
That's a good
Why not?
point, but I'm not the smartest guy. I'll lean over to our good cleric types / paladin / whatever they are and be like, what do you want to do? I kind of like him tied up.
Han's okay with him being untied during the day.
Yeah, I will shift over to providing my inspiring leadership to everybody but the elf.
That's fine. I didn't want it anyway.
What about the half elf paladin? Are you leaving her out too?
No, like it was sorry, I forget your character's name. It was Matt's character that I was not giving it to. And so now it's Todd's character I'm not giving it
Okay.
to. And I give it to all of the others.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So are you guys untying the father and his son as well?
Yeah.
I think they can walk.
I want
Okay.
to insight his story about trying to save his son.
All right. Go ahead and make your insight check.
That's 12.
So as you look at him,
Before he does that, can I try to inspire him?
sure, I'll allow it.
I'll say, do you believe him? And I'll like do a virtuous chord on my dulcimer.
14.
Okay. So you did notice before when he was being asked how both of them covered specific spots, one on their leg and one on their arm, and you think between their movements to hide the physical harm, even though it's already covered by clothes, and their story, you think that it matches. You do have some curiosity to see the wound, though.
I'll just go walk up to them while they're tied up and just uncover those spots.
So as you go to the man and you pull back his sleeve to reveal that there is a bite mark on his bicep, and you feel that that's probably appropriate that's true, and considering that both of them turned, you assume that the story from the boy is correct, for fear of trying to pull the boy's pants down to see a bite mark on his leg.
Does it look like it's infected or?
So it looks like it's about a couple days old, 2 or 3 days old. There's also some fresh marks on their body. It looks like, some cuts from maybe a dagger or a trident or maybe even a hammer, bruising, things like that. But you can definitely see that there is distinct bite marks from a werewolf on his right bicep.
And then I'll mention to Con and everybody else that they're probably good to walk.
Okay. So you guys are able to untie them. As you start to move towards the smaller little town, you arrive there that night. Ray, go ahead and make a perception check.
Nah, hold on.
By the way, how full was the moon last night?
I will tell you as soon as Ray makes her perception check.
So you're going to roll a d20, and then you're going to add your wisdom bonus to it.
Okay. Why am I? Hold on. I started doing something different, and now I can't find my stupid player sheet. I started looking at other stuff because they were asking about for level 3. And I started looking.
Oh.
I got off the page. So, my bad.
Are you on D&D Beyond still?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go up to the top left, collections,
Okay.
and then my characters, and that's where it should be.
Okay. Oh my God. Well.
Okay. So as you start to move and people are untying them, you actually look up at the sky and you're able to see the setting moon, and you can tell that the moon is actually past its full stage and starting to wane. The only reason I'm having you do that is because the first 2 games you were constantly looking at the sky, saying that the moon had something to do with it, and I figured for sure that you were going to get that before everything happened. But
her wondering whether or not the moon was full just reminded me of that meme that the guy goes cargo space and the salesman goes carnogo space, cargo ground, cargo fly.
So you guys are able to make it back or make it to the first town. If you guys like, you're able to find rest there, knowing that as you look around in this small town, there's not very many people. Most of them are small houses. There's a small common store / tavern of there that you guys can sleep in. The people that are in the area at the time, they're very aware of Storm, being that you guys look around and see they're predominantly human in this town. Actually, as from what you've seen moving through the province, it's predominantly human. But everybody does take notice of Storm.
Hello, everybody.
Storm is a popular guy.
Did anybody pull out a laser pointer?
Yeah, hopefully a popular, good, not popular, small town.
Don't know what the magic spell is for laser pointer, but no.
Probably prestidigitation,
There you go.
or however you say that dumb word.
There's half the words in this thing I can't even pronounce. So, all right. So as you guys get in, you're able to enter the town. You see that people are looking mostly at you guys, through you guys at Storm. You're able to do whatever you want. You can sleep here if you want, or you can press on to Shadow Grange and try to get there in the morning if you want to travel through night. I don't know if you heard all that.
Nope.
So you guys can stay here in this town, or you can press on through the night and get to Shadow Grange in the morning.
Did you hear Brent's question if there's a temple or a monastery here?
There is not. There's a small shrine in the middle of the town that looks similar to the one that you guys were at, but you'll notice that this one isn't as adorned as the one that was out in the on the trail.
Well, if I turn into a werewolf tonight, I definitely don't want to do it in a little tiny town where pitchforks and torches get lit. That's for sure.
Let us press on.
Okay.
As much as I am loath to stay anywhere but an inn, I think it is best to press on.
And that's what everyone wants to do?
Sure.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and start moving through the town on your way to Shadow Grange. As the time that you would normally eat dinner approaches and passes, you guys are able to consume and drink some of your rations. You move through. As the moon starts to rise higher in the sky, you notice that it is not a full moon, and that it's waning more now than what it did in the morning. So it is on its waning cycle as opposed to filling cycle. As midnight approaches, I need everybody to make a perception check.
Yeah, I think we still tie us up, right? Like, why would we even take chances?
Well, you guys are moving through the night, unless you guys are going to camp away from the town.
13 perception check.
19.
Okay.
Everybody makes it?
Yes, everybody.
I've got a
Initiate's at
21.
13, and con is up 5.
And
Yeah.
what? 10. Okay. So as the moon becomes higher in the sky, you guys all train your focus onto the man, his son, and Yosef, and you don't see any changes in them as midnight approaches, but you do hear a sound coming over your shoulders from the distance saying, "You better get them now because they're going to get you again tonight."
Well, the nymphs are back.
Yeah, I think it's prudent just to tie us up for a couple of hours to see if we change.
Okay.
And after, 2 a.m., if we haven't changed, then we move on.
I'm gonna take a shot with my bow in the general direction of the voices,
Okay.
and then proceed to time them.
Make your attack roll with disadvantage.
Yeah, I had a 20 to 1 last time. Let's see if I can do something.
Maybe this time you'll get a 1 and a 20.
That would be great. No, it's a 10 and a 12 plus my bonuses. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. I have 9, so that's actually a 19.
Okay. So as you pull back and shoot your arrow, you hear it sail through the sky, You don't hear anything for a second, then all of a sudden you hear a, "Ah, God damn it!" And then you hear the beating of their wings flurrying away. And you don't hear them again for the rest of the night.
Nice. Suck arrow wing. Rat rodent people.
So I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but I'll pull this over to your screen since you're seeing through it. But that's, hopefully I'm saying Memph correctly.
Method
Method.
or Mephit, I've heard it pronounced.
Oh, Method. All right, well, then I was saying it wrong the whole time.
Your world, man. You get to pronounce it however you want.
Well, I'm cheating and I'm using this this pre-made adventure.
Oh, that's awesome. Like, it makes it so much easier. That was a cool screen. Keep it organized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's still your world. It's fine to play your eyes.
Yeah. Well, I changed it from dust to shadow because it seemed more along the line. So you guys time up until 2 a.m. Nothing happens. You guys can continue on to Shadow Grange if you like, or you could stop and rest for the night. Being 2, it's up to you guys.
Push on.
How close are we?
You're about 5 hours away of foot travel with the horses, and of course you're going slower because you have Anton and his son.
As soon as day breaks, we'll untie everybody so we can continue a little faster, but I say we continue mission.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys press on into the morning. As dawn starts to break, I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw. Pretty sure that's the right one.
23.
Han's a 5.
Okay.
Rick at 20.
So
I get a 1.
everyone that rolled less than 10, so 9 or less, all have 1 point of exhaustion.
Exhaustion, yep.
And along with Anton and his son, both suffer from 1 level of exhaustion.
So just right.
You look sleepy.
So as you guys enter into the outsides of Shadow Grange, let me pull up Shadow Grange here and give you an
Sure hope
idea
they're friendly to werewolf kind.
of what it looks like. So I have the good part about being able to run multiple cameras off this computer is it's powerful enough to do that. The only problem is I don't have like Microsoft Office or anything, so all of my stuff is run off of Internet Explorer, so I can't search PDF as easily.
Right.
If it's just PDF, you can download
But
Adobe Reader DC.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Leave me alone.
Like if there's anything else going on, you can do.
Let's see, Shadow Grange.
Apparently, I've been organizing one of my AL games for tomorrow night via email, and I got called an old ass for doing it over email and not Discord.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Older.
Yeah, you are an old ass, I guess.
I wonder,
I've never used Discord.
in Discord, can you do video as well?
Yes, you can. I was actually going to suggest it now that I've played around with it enough.
I haven't been able to get it to work properly for multiple people.
All right. So as you
I might be trying it tomorrow because one of my players set up a Discord server for me and the people that play with us.
Nice.
Send you guys a link. We're kind of creating our own little Dungeons and Dragons community on Discord.
Yeah, I'd be down with it. That'd be a great way for me to learn. I appreciate that.
all right, so we'll try to set that up next time.
I'll
So
send everybody the link here pretty soon on the group.
okay. So as you guys enter in the town, this is the largest city in the province and is the capital. You're able to go to the church in town. Helps if I find. There we go. Where you're able to find the church that had sent for you. You're able to go to that church and you find Micus, the person who had sent for you, and at that point you're able to tell him about who you are, that you're coming from Asgarth, and that you were given the mission to come here and meet with him to help them in their search for Katrina.
Is he able to take care of our lycanthropy?
Hey,
You could certainly ask.
I have been bitten by a werewolf. Could you please remove this curse?
So, as you say, bitten by a werewolf, you see some of his advisors come out and they quickly grab you and say, "Come with us, come with us. We can help you with this problem."
Point to the guy.
take you guys with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a paladin or two with me just to, help out, I guess.
Okay.
No, I meant the kid and
The farmer and
And
his son.
servers who take care of it is different than what I think it needs to be.
So they whisk.
I'll leave the father and son over with them and follow them in.
Exactly. I was going to grab them next, but now that I'm being whisked to
So
possibly my death, I'm a little more concerned about me right now.
So as you announce that the father and son have been bitten as well, instead of just taking Yosef into the other room, they pull tables out there and have all three, Yosef, Anton, and his son, lay on the tables, and they begin a ritual right there in the room that everyone can see. It takes about an hour of them going through this ritual. As it begins, you see the people gathering around, doing various chants. As the chants continue, you see the wounds around the bite start to close over, and you no longer feel that burning sense around the bite. The ritual lasts for about another hour afterwards. At that point, they tell you that you should not be affected at this point. They've seen this before, and this is not uncommon in this area.
Well, thank you.
Uncommon.
Maybe
Say it
some
again.
of our paladins will need to learn remove curse eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is at the church.
This is at the church.
I'm gonna
I made a donation of 10 gold
gold.
pieces.
Okay. So you put 10, you put 20 gold in. Okay. So as you guys are there, Micus pulls you guys aside and starts to give you some of the backstory of what has happened in this area. So basically, you look around and you see the same symbol. You see this. Well, why is it not?
I saw something flying around the screen.
There we go. You see this same symbol throughout the church, and most of the parishioners are wearing it as well. You begin.
It's that some sort of wording that.
So he tells you that is the symbol of their deity. So the archangel Acavin, Avacyn, is a central.
Avacyn.
What's
Yes. Avacyn.
Avacyn, thank you. Is a central figure of the church, and the main conduit of holy magic in this area. It hasn't for a while. However, the archangel has not been physically around, and because of the disappearance of the angel has been several years, the province has slowly started to succumb to the evil that now envelops all of the province. It's been so long since the archangel Acavin has been that many of the shrines littered throughout the province no longer ward off evil. Most holy symbols, unless they have been made directly of silver and are of heavy weight, no longer ward off the evil in the area. The dead are not protected from tampering by ghoul callers and flesh-animating alchemists called Scapern, with the power of... What's that?
No, I've never heard that. How's it spelled?
Skaberen. With the power of the holy magic waning, humanity is being pushed into a corner by encroaching darkness that threatens to consume them. Only the select few elders in this church, including Micus, know what has happened to Acavin. He tells you he believes that the archangel has been trapped within the hell vault after a desperate struggle with the demon Grisselbrand. Grisselbrand, sorry, I didn't see the S. To save her would require shattering the hell vault and releasing hundreds of years worth of captured demons imprisoned within the silver prison. It's a risky move if they do that, and it may doom the entire area. He believes that an artifact in the church's possession, which is a mystical tuning fork, holds the key to retrieving Acavin from the hell vault without releasing the demons trapped with her. Notwithstanding, to wield the artifact themselves, the elders have secretly delivered the fork to a musical prodigy named Katrina Braun, who also has went missing. It was their hopes that her talents could unlock its power while the church tried to maintain order in the world. Micus knows the secret demon worshipping cult Skirstag, have human members embedded within the area in all levels of the church. Nobility and the trades are believed to be safer with Katrina, and that's why they had sent her outside of Shadow Grange to prevent the Skirstrag's influence. The province of Stisnia has plenty of its own dangers as well, as you guys have already seen. So that's kind of where they're at. They believed, in summary, is that Katrina would be able to unlock the powers of this tuning fork to be able to retrieve the Archangel and be able to banish the undead from the area.
That's because you never met Yosef.
Yeah. So this story comes from Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
And it's from one of my all-time favorite sets. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited to be a part of this. And then the fact that my name is Von Karsten just absolutely coincidentally is pretty cool too. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully visiting some of my favorite things from the story.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have seen this in Magic the Gathering before, because the words, I'm from Kansas and I can barely read, so only a select few people from...
saw?
Listen, we're not going to get in arguments about this. So I think that's where we're gonna stop gameplay for tonight on that portion of it.